Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Pull up a chair and join us in the alcove here with episode 26 of our homebrewed 5th edition D&D campaign. The Chaoslands.
It's been a while.
That's the name.
There you go.
As always, before we start, we have a handful of quick announcements to get through.
Fans?
If you are here watching us, you know that we go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And our WODs are uploaded to YouTube every Friday. We will also be potentially doing some reruns on Monday morning at some point in time because Twitch is getting rid of
figuring
rerun
some
features.
things out.
We'll figure some stuff out.
Yeah, we're figuring some
Stay
things
tuned.
out.
Potentially doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Just Twitch things. Give us a follow down below to get a bit of a notification whenever we're about to go live.
They still do that?
Yes.
Well,
for now.
have they ever done that? It's never really worked.
I've turned off my push notifications for Twitch so I don't get them, but
you'll get sent one an hour after we go live.
While you're checking out the links below, be sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts, where you will definitely get notifications every time we post on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
For all of the latest news, schedule updates, as well as awesome character art, profiles, other fun things coming out of the pipe. Yeah, that's the end of that line. I don't know where I was going with it. Also, a big shout out to Syrinscape, because epic games need epic sound. Syrinscape is a digital tool with a collection of amazing sound sets and music that we use to improve the ambiance of our game and stream. If you're looking for a way to improve the immersion at your RPG table, go check them out at Syrinscape.com.
That was a little...
Alyssa was so delayed there. We forgot how it works.
It's been so long.
Alright. Welcome back to the table, guys.
Yay!
Yay.
And let's get started. Previously on the Chaoslands.
Oh my
No, I missed it. Wait, there we go.
Man,
It has its own sound
Yeah,
effects.
I did-
We're 26 episodes deep, guys.
I did put
It
sound
has
effects
its own sound
Does that
effects.
voice still come through on that part?
Nope.
Yes. yes, it
Does
does.
it?
we
mute.
improve it.
Yeah, we just added to it.
Perfect.
Right.
Still grappling with the consequences of their encounter with Ezekiel Miralar, the leader of the Covendalis. The Iron Will gathered their belongings and left Ward 3 behind, looking to make their way through Ward 4, back into Ward 1, and reconvene with the Big One's father, Yanabok Sparkling. But not before coming across a strange abandoned delivery under the name of one Deldrock Mountainsmith, one of the targets that Ezekiel had asked you to track down. In this delivery, you found some incredibly valuable minerals and ore, and bars of metal, as well as a staff of some sort.
Yes. All right. I forgot about that.
With these in your possession, you made your way through Ward 4, and unwittingly found yourself in the vicinity of the Silken Candle, a house of
Night ladies.
ill repute, where Arkmir found himself accosted and led within by a lady of the night named Stacy. It was here in a dimly lit and dilapidated room that you once again ran into Drew, another one of the targets that Ezekiel had tasked you with bringing to justice, but one that you have a very complicated history with. Here, as Arkmir tried to help her and admitted that he wouldn't be taking her in, he was racked with a horrible headache, a searing pain, and brought to his knees. Reeling from this encounter, you regrouped and made your way to the Black Ox Tavern.
The what?
The Black Ox Tavern.
Just checking.
The barkeep's
Black
name
Ox
was
Tavern.
Yola. I remember. I was informed of that
Yola?
information earlier, yeah.
Hyola.
It's Hajola, actually.
You visited the apartment of Nipnor and enlisted his skills as a repulsor cylinder operator
Our boy.
to help operate your newly repurposed device designed to capture and contain energy from the lightning rifts that appear around the city and help power the city with that instead of the secretive Aetherion device that some of you know about. I think all of you know about.
They know about it now.
With the city of Schema quickly deteriorating and spiraling in the wrong direction, you find yourselves in a tavern. You have secured rooms for the night. But before you go, you can have a drink, have a bite, and turn in to rest. What will you do?
So the only thing that Calthair would have done before going to do the meditation would he would have taken a little bit more time looking into the book that he got and the So I will admit I did read it before coming here,
Yeah.
and I didn't get any further in it. So I'm gonna make a roll for hopefully more help.
Right.
So I'll give this to you another.
Sure.
Should we get some? Should we get some food, guys? I forgot how he talks.
Make an investigation.
All right.
Hmm?
22.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
Just give the answer to him now.
Yeah. You know everything.
Are you drawing my initials?
What's your last name?
That's a little weird. You don't know Alyssa's last name.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Astra for a second.
Oh, I guess Astra does start with an A too. Yeah.
No, I didn't finish that clear.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Yeah, what the hell?
Oh my god. Maybe I'm not supposed to see that.
Classic laugh.
Or maybe I was supposed to see it. It is on my
let
side.
me show you my LA starting. I did just find that though.
Doesn't get better than that.
Yeah,
I was like, what are you talking about? Asking for this? Like, oh.
that's the lady that Arkmir. Mwah.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some strong nipples to be holding up that giant candle.
No, she's holding it. The handle's just in front of her nipple. You said that last time too.
Oh, I think I still didn't understand. How is it so perfectly around her nipple, though?
I don't
I
know.
can't
I'm a good
see
artist.
that.
I was
called
covering one.
cinematography.
Yeah.
I still decide to believe that her nipple's holding that.
And she's got strong nipples.
Going.
Alright, there's a note as well as some more.
I'll look at that later, unless you're intending me to look at it right now.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's up to you. It doesn't solve
What
the
is
problem.
that again?
The book that I got from
Oh,
your father.
from the Farger.
In the back of it, the notes in it started to kind of change and
Gotcha.
seemed to appear to be hiding some sort of message within it. So I've been like reading and trying to decode it.
So I guess where we left off, we were leaving. We
Nibnor?
were like, Nibnor, you want to come tonight? And they were like, maybe we should go tomorrow. Well, now
We had just secured rooms.
yeah. Well, now that we have our operator, perhaps we get some food and then
And ranks?
and some drinks and head to bed at a reasonable time so we can get on in the morning.
Some rest would be good. I'm not feeling too well.
I'm really tired. I don't remember much
Whoa.
from what's been happening this
Are you
today.
there when I
Yeah.
was about it? Was
Yeah.
you
Just
allowed
us
to
three
nip
upstairs, I
nerves?
think.
You're downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm sending you guys a
Yeah.
message. You
Yeah.
guys. No, you're right. Okay. Rewind.
I've done that before many times.
But Asha, it was nice to see your dust worked pretty nicely. Do you remember what the dust was? As the player playing Astra, do you remember what the dust you gave us was? You don't. It's okay. It's
Dust.
the dust you gave us, it was smelled very nice.
It wasn't dust.
It was.
It was powder.
Oh. well,
Not dust. Dust is dirty.
It's dry
This
fire.
Well,
is
it smelled
smelly
ve-
powder that stinks.
yes, it stunk, smelled nice.
Yeah, it stinks nice. But it's a powder, excuse me, not
I'm
dust.
sorry. I think they're the same thing.
It's not.
So the last thing that happened, I believe, was there was like a conversation that you had with the boy behind the wall.
Yeah.
And then there was a little thing that happened at
The
the
evil
end.
Yes.
We can retcon that as having been like it will happen at the end if you guys are sitting at the table.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
act really
my thing
surprised
was
when it
assuming we
happens.
had left and gone to our rooms. So
Okay.
if we're
Yeah.
stepping
Is there anything
backwards,
you
No,
guys
no,
want to
no.
do
I
in
think
the-
the last episode we had already gotten
Yeah.
food and drink.
You've
Yeah.
gotten
Just
food
kind
and
of
drinks, and you were making
catching
your way
back up.
upstairs to your room.
Yeah. Yeah.
You open your room, the door to the room that the key that Yola had given you.
Room 205.
Sure. You find yourself in a very small, very cramped room. To be honest, there's mostly just one bed. It's a bed of an awkward size. It's a little bit larger than one person, a little bit smaller than two.
Fits me perfectly.
Are we all in this room?
Yes.
I think so. Oh, that's okay. I'm used to sleeping in a corner, sitting up. It's fine.
It's very Spartan. There isn't even like a table or like chairs or anything. Most people who would have a room here would go downstairs to the tavern for food and drinks. So, literally just a bed, like a moth-eaten rug on the ground, unlit.
A professor can sleep on the rug. I'll just curl up in a corner. It's fine. Asher, would you like the bed?
No, I can sleep anywhere, but I don't know, maybe Hoku should have the bed. He's had a rough couple of days, you guys. He needs his sleep. He's gonna get cranky.
It's not like he has anywhere else he can stay. Another dimension or whatever.
Got his mansion in the pocket dimension.
Well, actually, if you don't want it, perhaps you had a rough night with the ladies.
Well, hang on. Now I kind of want it. Now that you're trying to give it to somebody else.
Okay. Well, you guys decide.
You can have it.
Also, for the room and the food is 5 gold in total. Somebody pay that.
Well, I got it. I will tip her 1 silver. That's a 1.
Thank you. Who's that?
It didn't let me remove coins, so it's free.
That's not how payment works.
5 gold. Oh, I think I put it in
Your
EP. That's why.
internet was down. You couldn't
Yes, I
transact.
could.
That was it.
It's on the house.
I owe you.
Should we have somebody stay up and watch, just in case? I mean, we do have some eyes on us lately. It might not be a bad idea to make sure nobody comes snooping around, or... Not that he would, but perhaps Nipnor gets out of our agreement and decides to dip in the night.
Oh, he wouldn't do that.
Oh, I don't think he would either, but you never know.
Should we tie him down?
Should we? I mean, I do have some rope.
I have some silk rope, I think.
I think he'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm remembering stuff now. It's
I'm
coming
actually
back.
feeling okay, so I can do the first watch. I know you normally are up anyway,
I
so...
only need 4 hours, so...
So if you want to do that first, I can take the first watch, and then the professor and I can get our rest after.
I'll take the morning shift.
Okay.
I'll be up anyway, so...
Alright.
Right, well,
Diamond goes to a corner, unrolls his bedroll, takes his pants off,
yeah.
goes to bed.
Get some rest, guys. It's going to be a very busy couple of days, I think. We have...
Well, I'm not sleeping for a while, so I'll take the shift after you.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. Who's taking first shift? Just you?
Just
Anyone
me. And the professor.
else? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm passing up.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check.
First roll.
Does the
Is
professor
it
help?
involve smell?
Good.
I will roll advantage then.
See if you smell anyone.
It's an 18 for smell and a 10 for normal, if we want to do it that way.
The room smells musty.
It smells like timing. That's a good thing.
While the rest of your compatriots sleep, you're paying attention to just the general sounds, and there is a small window on the opposite side of the door. It's very dirt covered. You look outside. You look out. This tavern is kind of at the edge of a street, and the street stretches on for quite a ways. It's dark. Don't really see much past your window. There's there's a few streetlights on the street, but only one of them is on. It's powered on.
I think we saw that before.
It's farther down the street, even immediately outside the building that you're staying in. It's dark, so you don't really see much.
Well, we're in this time. I would like to attune to my not tune, I guess it's called infuse, to my new goggles of the night that I had created for myself.
What do your goggles look like?
So they're basically the same as what they were, but I added like a little. You remember those little cameras where you go like that when you're a kid and it changed like a filter? It's basically that, and then it just gets covered in some sort of, I don't know what it would be, some sort of material that would make it blacked out, and then it just like a little shimmer of the same magical energy that you would see in my arm
Splinter
glosses
Cell.
over them. Yeah.
3D.
Yeah. So it's basically I just click a little mechanism that blackens them out. A little pulse of mechanical Magitech green goes over them, and then I have the effect of it.
Yep. All of a sudden, the room inside, even though the room is dark and there isn't really much source of light, you can see clearly. As you look outside, you can see farther in the nighttime.
and I'm going to uninfuse my
Arm.
repeating shot for my gun
Okay.
because I haven't really been using it as much, and I can add it back later.
The rest of your watch goes fairly uneventfully. Not much happens. You don't see anybody. It's still dark outside. Actually, towards the start of your watch, you might have seen some people leaving the tavern, but other than that, not much. Nobody in the streets. Fairly quiet.
Cool.
When your watch come to an end, who do you wake up? Or
I think Astra said she was good.
I would just wake
for
up at that
yeah.
point anyways.
Oh,
True.
Wake up. Yeah.
Kelthir Astra, I'm gonna get some sleep if it's okay with you guys.
Okay.
Sure.
Alright.
Good night.
Let me
big
know if
buddy.
anything happens.
the professor just kind of like.
Yeah,
knuckles up
he'll
with
stay
you,
up. Yeah, he'll
and, just
be
sits
beside me,
there,
but sit
like,
there. Yeah,
with, like
perfect.
his
Good
eyes
boy.
and ears open, but
I don't
just
know how to change it. Fuck.
Any changes to the kind of like celestial or like outline looking constellation? That's what I was
make up. Make a perception check.
What?
Stupid.
Make a perception check.
The stars with the lines.
Did you say stars?
No.
25.
I'm just making him sound more dumb.
25.
So the one thing that has changed over the course of time is that now the big one has.
Right.
You can see him in the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The
Is
one
his
thing that
constellation figure like missing an arm?
It. That's an interesting question.
That's fucking cool.
You broke our
It
deal.
is. It is. It is. Interesting.
Nice. That was my good piece.
The one thing you do notice this time, and perhaps it's just because you've been looking for any changes or anything different in some ways. While Astra was sleeping, you were looking around, and with a 25, you saw for a brief moment her constellation shimmer almost near
She's just there.
where her ankle would be.
Her ankle?
My ankle. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Astra's got some nice
Your
ankle.
left ankle.
My left ankle is shimmering?
I don't know what
What are one of those?
It was like a brief, almost like,
yeah,
almost like
yeah. It's the what's the
Like that-
at-home thing, so you don't
yeah.
leave your house.
it's almost like something appeared and then disappeared very quickly.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Write it in my dream journal.
I want a dream journal.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pretty much just, unless, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm gonna just kind of like move around, like look out the window and
Well, I
kind
was
of walk
gonna
around the hall.
kind of sit and chat with you, so I'm going to be following
Sure,
you around
that's-
closely then.
Sure.
Trailing behind
Sounds about right.
you. He looks out the
That-
window and I'm behind
That,
him.
yeah, that was just if there was something else you were doing.
No, I will. Not now.
Hmm?
I don't know. Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
You promise you're not going to tell anybody?
If you don't want me to.
Pinky swear?
I don't know what that means.
Put out your pinky. Put it over here. Yes. And then do that. Now, if you tell anybody, you will die. I think that's how it works.
Okay.
Don't tell anybody, but the big one kind of hurt my feelings a while ago. And I don't know if I should say something to him.
I'm not sure.
Can you elaborate so Michael knows what
Go back and watch the watch.
Yeah, I will.
And I don't know if I should say anything because it was a while ago now and it's been bothering me and it really hurt my feelings at the time and I kind of let it go and I made it seem like I was like, cool about it and it didn't really bother me and I'm sure he has no idea because I played it off really, really well. But it kind of, a little bit. Should I say something?
That's your
I
call.
love how you got a count here for advice.
I'm not sure there's really going to be anything I can say that will help you in your decision.
I'm glad we had this talk. Much more clear on what to do
extent
now.
of the conversation.
A lot of knowledge gained there.
I still don't know what the fuck.
But do you think I should bring up old stuff, or should I just kind of
was
like
either
bury it down and
when I
just
said her
like,
friend
really
wasn't
pack
real.
it down?
Or
when I hated on Hoku.
I'm not sure. I don't really have a good understanding of how people will react to those sort of things. If it's not entirely obvious already, I'm not exactly the most understanding of.
No.
I think whatever you do, just be sure in your decision, one way or the other.
Okay. Well, okay, here's a quick question. If you were to have said something a long time ago and then didn't know that it bothered somebody else, but it really bothered somebody else, but you had no idea, they brought it up like 20 years later and was just like, hey, like, that kind of hurt my feelings, how would you feel?
I'm not sure. That hasn't happened to me before.
But hypothetically. Sad? Angry? Hungry?
I think it's a waste of time to consider all the possibilities. I think.
That's actually some pretty good advice. Thanks, Calvin.
I hope that helps.
It does, actually.
Make a perception check, both of you.
Either when I
This
told
one's
her her
not
friend
good.
was fake, or I hated on Hoku. One of the two.
Oh,
Either way, I heard
Okay.
one of her two
You
friends.
hit on Hoku,
Two.
not you
Plus
hit
one,
Hoku.
three.
I'm sure
She
you're very
misinterpreted
distracted
it.
by just
I'm-
following around and thinking.
I'm like thinking it through. Do I say something?
Totally paying
Counter, as you're
Yeah.
watching out,
Really
you
good.
look out into the streets, and well, most of your watch is fairly uneventful. Occasionally, you do see a couple of Iron Cog patrolling along the street. At one point, one of the giant walkers that you had seen being ran by the elite guard of the artificers that kind of paces through the street.
Okay.
So it's clear that there is like some sort of like curfew, nighttime patrol. Like you gather that there's like nobody else on the streets.
Right.
That is what you gather so far.
Okay. But other than that, nothing really going on. Yeah, nothing going on that like nobody seems to be like watching us or don't see anybody hopping around rooftops.
No. You like at one point you go and check out near the door.
Yeah, I would.
You
yeah, I
haven't
would
seen any, or you gather that the hallway is like small enough that if anybody was walking down, and you're only on the second floor, right?
Okay.
So anybody was walking out at all, you would hear footsteps or like some sort of indication of that.
Mhm.
Literally nobody has left since you guys came up.
Okay. Wait here for just a minute. I'm just gonna walk up to the third floor where
Third floor.
where Nipner is. Yeah, just want to see if there's anything going on.
He's probably sleeping.
Then I won't hear anything.
Did that one come?
We should have someone stay here.
Well, like, kind of keep an eye, like a close
Just in
eye,
case.
like watch really closely and
Yeah.
pay attention.
If anything happens, you're the one who should be here.
You got it, buddy. I'm on it.
All right.
You open your door and make your way out into the hallway. It's dark, but that has never bothered you at all. Turn to the left, make your way up the stair, past the several other doors, and you come to Nipnor's door. I think it was 303.
303.
Yeah.
Yep.
You do notice a faint, like, light flickering from underneath his door. It immediately pops up to you. Like,
There's movement inside, or like light.
there's a
flickering?
light flickering. It's all of the other doors. Like you haven't been able to see any light coming out from
Mhm.
underneath, like the slit underneath their door.
Maybe
Okay.
he has a lady open.
But there's definitely is like some sort of like a flickering light coming out from underneath his door.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait for just a few minutes to see if I hear anything. Like, I noticed the light. I want to see if I hear any kind of movement and really focus on that. If there if it sounds like he's moving around or somebody's in there doing something.
You don't hear movement of any sort of anything in particular, but you do hear at some point, like almost like the clink of a glass, like glass on glass contact.
Okay. Glass on glass action.
Yeah,
All right.
hot glass on glass action.
Whoa. Hell yeah.
Okay. I'm going to use invisibility on myself,
Calder's going in.
and then I'm going to knock on the door.
Okay. You hear
You get scared.
Nipner's voice from the inside. Who the hell is it?
I don't respond.
Doesn't open the door. Waits for a little while. I said, who is it? The door opens momentarily. You notice that inside the door there's like a chain of sorts, so it doesn't open all the way. It just opens briefly. Like looks out. You can see like it's candlelit inside. Make a perception check.
2 good ones in a row. I'm bound. I'm due for a
Bad one.
natural 1.
For
You're too busy
perception?
looking at Nipner himself, and he looks a little bit disheveled,
Yeah,
distraught. His eyes are a little red, like sweating a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's not fully. He doesn't seem fully healthy. And
Okay.
well, because you're looking at him, you're too distracted from looking inside. And
Right.
looks around, doesn't see anything. Slams the door shut. Yeah.
Okay.
He was awful quick to join our.
I'll
Deadly
just
adventure.
hang out for a little while longer, just to see if like if somebody else comes by or he is like panicking and just wants to like leave or something. Yeah, I'll just hang out for a little bit more or a little bit longer. I don't have a way of communicating with you right now.
A few minutes pass, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You hear some rummaging from the inside. Nothing else. The candle light continues to come through from under the door. It's probably like 2:30, 3-ish a.m. in the morning now. That's what she said.
The building, is there only one staircase up and down? Okay. I'll go back then. I'll go back down to the second floor, but I'm gonna kind of just periodically, like, kind of just walk out into the, like, for the rest of the evening, out into the hallway and just try to keep an eye on the stairwell and see if I hear anybody moving through.
For the rest of your watch, or this watch, you don't see or hear anything. At a point in time closer to the end of your watch, as you go up the stairs to see if there's anything happening on the third floor, you do notice that the light has gone out. That was sort of like shining out from underneath Nipner's door.
Okay. That's it.
So your watch comes to an end. Who are you waking up? If you're waking up anyone, you're just staying up.
I think everybody else can just wake up whenever they want to wake up, unless you're waking people up. I'm not going back to bed, so unless you're going back to bed. Technically, you only got 4, so.
I'm going to bed.
Who are you waking up, if anybody?
I'm just gonna look around. Everybody's sleeping like so peacefully. I'm just gonna let them sleep. Good night, buddy.
Good night.
Cramped room, it just leaves you and the professor sitting there staring at each other. Neither of you blink. Make another perception check.
That one's got no one's good use out of it. Natural 20 for a 27.
Whoa.
Nice.
That one's got all its good use out of it.
Yeah, I can't use that one anymore.
As the sun comes up, you're kind of distracted a little, and you from your watch, you look up to see the sun coming up, and you notice that off in the distance, in the direction where your window is facing, probably still within the vicinity of the city, there's black clouds.
I thought you were gonna say like down the end of the road. I see Nipner like.
Should have touched him.
There's black clouds off in the direction that your window is facing.
And which way is that, towards Ward 8, or is it now further in on other wards?
It is it's to your east and not south enough to be Ward 8.
So we're in 4 right now,
Yes.
and we're facing east. So theoretically 7 or 6, maybe. Hard to tell. I'm looking at
7 isn't there. 2 and 6 are the ones that are directly east of you.
Okay, my drawing's really crude. So this was my drawing.
3, 4, 2, 6.
Guys, we should buy a
7,
map.
8, 5. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so
Only something
2
like
or
that.
6 maybe, somewhere in that. There.
I think we were gonna ask my father when we got back if he had a map.
Okay.
Or buy one from one of the shops. I think they mentioned they would have one.
Well, you see, we sent Astra to go find essentials, and she came back with an Indiana Jones claw.
And a potato.
A grappling hook.
Not a potato. Flour.
Guys! Yeah, but to be fair, it was expired flour.
It's exactly what I wanted, you guys. Also, I came back with a grappling. Oh, that's what you're talking
The
about.
Indiana Jones hook. The
Yeah,
Indiana
I was
Jones
proud of
hook,
that.
yeah.
We also became an influencer, thank you, and got
You
some
did,
stuff,
yeah.
some stinky
Yeah.
powders.
Dry farts.
Yeah.
As you all come to in the morning.
Like this.
Long rest of days.
That's definitely like when you're in a video game and it's quiet and you hear chirping, and then in the morning that song comes
Yeah.
on. That's actually perfect.
Do we get our long rest?
You do get your.
Yay!
Yeah, I didn't need it,
Otherwise,
but
okay.
yay. I'll
Yeah,
click it.
imagine needing it.
Only losers need it.
Long rest.
It is now morning. What would you like to do?
So I can still see the cloud.
You can look out.
Um,
See it.
Then I'm just, as people get up and start moving around, you'll just see me over by the window, kind of
It's
staring.
still fairly
at the-
small. It's not.
Yeah, I can see that there. So yeah, I'll be standing over at the window, kind of just staring out. And kind of as you guys get up and are, I'm not just like wake up, look. But as you get going, I'll just kind of look to you all and say, it appears that the storms are encroaching more on the city. Out there in the distance, you can see it looks like a cloud over, coming in on the city or partially over the city, and that's not Ward 8. Potentially parts of 2 or 6, maybe.
Is that over the city, lad?
Can I tell, like,
It's hard to tell from here. You can't get like proper depth perception on where exactly it is.
yeah,
Because you don't know like the size of it, but
I
it's
wonder.
borderlines, either on the edge or just over.
I wonder if the damage to Ward 3 caused
well, I think
the
they
protection to be disrupted in some regard.
didn't they take one of the stones from another ward over to Ward
Oh,
3
they
to
did.
power that? Was that 6?
It was.
Yeah. There we go. I did it.
Wow, Calvin, your mind works so quickly.
Did you see any lightnings, lad?
No. I just see the dark clouds over there, but it appears what they're doing to try to reconfigure their power to the city, maybe potentially allowing these to get a lot closer than usual.
It would appear we need to try and get this working as soon as possible.
Aye.
Also, I'm not sure how the conversation entirely went with Nipner last night, but
Went pretty. Who was with me again? See you? Yeah. Did you come
I
as
think
well?
it's
Yeah.
you three.
yeah.
I think
I think it
entered
went-
the room and like no.
I think it went pretty well. He was pretty eager to help. He didn't really have any fight back.
I walked
He
around.
wasn't too happy to see us
Oh,
at first,
yes.
but then, like, he enjoyed the proposition of a joke.
Yeah, he came around very quickly.
He also had some interesting information on Hezerick. I think he mentioned that Hezerick was the type of guy who's full of ambition and wanted to supersede Galerin.
Oh.
He might be. It wouldn't surprise me if he was still working with the Razor Blades.
Or what's left of them, I suppose.
Yes.
The reason I ask, I was walking around through the evening, just kind of patrolling just in case. And Nipna was restless through the night. He was up quite late. He didn't look well.
How'd you know?
I knocked on his door and saw him. He did not see me.
Didn't
A bit of a
Did
trick
you
I
hide?
learned from Drew.
He
was
seemed
invisible to the eye.
tired, but okay when we talked with him.
I
Perhaps he was just nervous about the job after we left. I mean, he put on a brave face and then he was a little restless.
Potentially, maybe he started thinking more and more about the risk.
Or
I'm not
perhaps he was a little startled that there was a pale elf knocking his door in the middle of the night.
Sure. Well,
but
he
you
didn't
could
know
see
I
him.
was there, though.
Or an invisible force knocking
That's
his
even
door in the middle
Well, he
of
was
the
up
night.
before I knocked on the door.
Oh, alright.
Do you think he had a lady friend?
I'm not sure. I didn't see anyone else, but I don't know.
Nippy.
But I think we should check on him this morning and
Yes.
make sure he's all right.
If it's okay with you folks, I do have quite a few apples if we wanted to skip breakfast and just get going.
Yeah, sure.
You still have your giant bushel of
I'm
apples.
I couldn't carry the bushel, but I grabbed as
Carry
many
the
as I
bushel.
possibly could.
They're just inside the little one.
Yeah, cough it
In the
out.
back.
That's where the oak
There's a little particule.
You pack up your bedrolls and you head out the door, closing it behind you. You head upstairs to...
Before we leave the room,
Yeah.
can I take a look to see if there's anything inscribed on the walls, like, you know, people who etched something on the wood or something like that?
Make an investigation check.
Bob was here.
Something like that.
For a good
time.
Hello.
Sorry, what is it? Investigation? Perception?
Investigation.
Investigation?
For a good time, send magic letter.
Yeah. For magic, or for
15.
good time, go to
No,
Clanko's,
sorry,
buy a
investigation.
note, then
11.
send it to this.
11. Nothing out of the ordinary. It seems fairly Spartan room. You look around and with the light of the sun now shining in. It's really not much. It's just a bed, a rug, like a small closet off in the corner to like hang clothes on. Nothing stands out to you.
Alright.
Let's go check on Nipner.
Go over and
You head out the door, you make your way up, knock on 303's door. No response.
Nippy?
You knock again, and you hear just a loud groan from the inside.
We're on our way, Nipner.
It's way too early.
I have an apple.
5 more minutes.
Do we give him 5 more minutes?
I open the door. Wow.
Where's locked?
Oh, is it locked? Oh, well,
Yeah,
can
it's
I
like
try
100
it?
locks on it.
Okay.
Well, let's
Is
just
there like
not-
100
There-
locks, I said?
There's like more locks on this door than on your door. You
Should
see
we
that.
kick it
There's
down?
At least 2 or 3 locks.
Time it?
Boom, 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 boom. Netnor, wake up!
So bad.
Time to go, lad. You said yes last night, so pack up your shit. Got to go.
Like, you hear some like rummaging and some like footsteps from the inside. You hear the latches and the locks open and the chains fall. And then the door opens and just like opens the door and walks back over to the bed and collapses into the bed.
What's wrong with you, lad?
Oh, I mean, I can carry him.
I'm gonna walk around the room and look for a hidden lady friend. So I'm gonna open up any like
The
closets.
curtains.
Yeah.
The room is about the same size
You're
as the room
twisting
that
a
you
piece of your
spent.
hair. Just like, why'd you rip out a piece of hair and twist it like that? What the hell?
The room is about the same size as the room that you guys were in, so it's not exactly a massive room. It does seem more lived in. The bed has like proper
Yes.
sheets and more. Like there's a chest at the bottom of the bed that's flipped open and emptied. To be honest,
Does it smell like alcohol and or beers?
very strongly. Smells
Does he smell
very
like
strongly
alcohol
of
and beers?
He smells very strongly
Okay.
of alcohol. There's a couple of bottles of alcohol that are spilled and like have fallen on the floor and have like stained the
My
wood.
father told me a trick for this, and I'll pull out some of my
Water rations and just pour it on his face.
Yeah. What the
Oh, apologies, but we are on a bit of a tight schedule. If you wouldn't mind getting up.
fine. Like gets up and you can see that he has made some preparation in his like backpack and his like adventure gear that he had been wearing when you had accompanied with him when he had traveled with you all earlier. He's wearing the same like similar. He's got a similar suit of clothing on the side. He's wearing not much, to be honest. He's just in his underwear.
So does he look still like super like haggard and that
He
he
looks
was probably
very haggard.
drinking all night and is like still sick?
That's kind of what you gather. He looks very haggard, very hungover. He does like with the water, like shakes himself too, and like just sits on the bed for a while, still like blinking a little.
I'm gonna go over to him, kneel in front of him, and just say, maybe this will help a little bit. And I'll put my hand on his shoulder and I'll cast Lesser Restoration on him. Which theoretically will cure alcohol poisoning.
It does. You can mark off that spell slot.
Yep.
As you channel your magic, the faint glow of the moon through your hand suffuses into his face, and you can immediately see like his face that seems like really pale and haggard and like
Some
sweaty.
color comes back into it.
And color comes back into it. His eyes are a little bit less bleary. He looks up at you. He's still exhausted, like tired.
Yeah.
But he's not hungover anymore, or at least not as badly as he was. That's some powerful magic you got there.
Well, thank you, Calther, but we do need you on your best today. Obviously, we're relying on you a little bit here.
What happened last night, lad? Are you alright?
I'm having trouble sleeping.
Well, with that amount of alcohol, I mean, I'm not one to judge, but is there something bothering you?
Lady trouble?
Well, I mean, you try getting abducted and beaten to near death and kept in prison for almost imprisoned and in chains for about a week. You know, every time I close my eyes, I just see them, that big ogre.
Well, that's understandable. If it makes you feel better, I got shot with a bunch of arrows and died for a minute.
Yeah. But you...
I don't know if that helps. It just
Oh, this'll be good. This'll be good. I'll get out of here. He points to his room. I'll be traveling with
adventure
some
will be
people.
good.
You know, I won't be alone here in my room. Worried that, like I was that night, worried that somebody's just gonna come charging in. And
Oh, well, they'll have to charge through all of
and-
us.
I appreciate that.
You're not alone, lad. You're not alone. We'll
We've been thinking
we'll
about
keep you
it.
company.
Okay.
If it helps at all, in case it's on your mind and maybe it'll help ease it a little bit. The knock on your door last night, that was me. I was checking to see if you were alright.
To be honest, I don't remember that.
Okay. If it came to you and you thought that maybe somebody was stalking you or breaking in.
That would be terrifying.
Yes.
Um,
That was me, though.
Say yes.
okay.
Nipner, I got you a present.
Oh, you didn't have to.
No, but we were thinking about you, right? Like this whole time, we were like really worried, wondering how Nipner was.
Yes,
right?
we need to make sure that you are ready for the job at hand, you see.
Sure.
Oh, yes.
So I got you this, and I passed him the little pouch. I give him the rest of my pouch of the stink powder.
Oh, it's good to... Powder. It smells very nice.
All you have to do, maybe next time you have a lady friend over, or if you just want to have like a relaxing bubble bath or like just a nice sleep, you light a candle, go, and then it makes the room stink really nice.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I just hold out an apple.
He takes the apple, bites into it. That's good. Is that... He looks at your back and you're carrying the device.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
yeah.
that what you're...
It is,
me
yes. This is, we've worked on it for a little bit.
He takes another bite. Well, let me see. What does it look like? What
Oh,
is
sure.
it?
I'll quickly take it out and show him.
I also have the
immediately-
blueprints if you need to see it.
He doesn't really seem to care too much about the blueprints. He
Oh.
immediately goes to the device and starts messing around with it.
Oh,
the control panel,
Be
theme, all
very
the different-
careful.
Careful, lad. Careful. Last time we turned on one of these, it tried to create plans to kill us.
I
so-
mean, we definitely we trust
You
you.
turned it
but- Oh, I wasn't there for
Te-
that.
Technically, a
Technically,
goblin turned it
the
on.
goblin turned
Wasn't
it
me.
on.
I know how these things work.
No, you
You
weren't
guys
conscious.
met goblins?
Again.
He presses a couple of buttons and immediately the legs that you've attached to it kind of spring to life and start
Oh.
getting in
works.
position to drill into the ground. The top of the device seems to open up a little bit, rise up, almost like a pillar.
Oh, it works.
Seems to work.
Good job.
We talked earlier.
Oh, I couldn't have done it without you.
We talked earlier. There was some remote activation
Oh, yes.
about it.
I don't really know what it looks
Takes
like.
it.
But
It's the big red button.
it's a calculator. It says boobs on it when you turn it upside down.
Oh, I'm sorry, clear.
He takes the device, and it really is just a small device with a couple of knobs on
Yeah.
it. He twists it, and he sees the different lights on the panel kind of light up.
Does it work?
Seems to. Do you mind if I? And he without even waiting for your response, pops out a screwdriver of sorts, and unscrews one of the panels on the side.
Oh,
Looks inside. Interesting. Parts it. The container seems a bit damaged.
oh, yes. It's very fragile. We were told that it could probably still function okay, so hopefully that's the
The
case.
supply of ether gel looks a bit low as well. Is that by design? Is it supposed to be?
Do you know how to top it up?
Do you know how I get more? See, we came across this, and when I was putting some parts together, I noticed that it was indeed a bit damaged and that it didn't look exactly full. But we did consort with my father a little bit, and he said that it probably will still be functional. If you think we need to fix it or more, then we can. I just don't really have experience in that particular part.
You should be able to fill it up from any other spire that's
Okay.
operational, at least.
Oh, okay.
It really won't make that much of a difference. It might affect how long it can keep running.
Well, I
how
mean,
much power it can.
The first step
If
is-
your experiment works, how
That's-
much power it's able to.
we need to
sustain and
first
hold.
make sure that it does indeed work for this. So perhaps, I mean, you're the expert when running this. If you think it'd be better to try it with the juice fully charged, then
I think it would.
okay.
Just because, and this is obviously when we go out, we top it up completely.
Sure,
When we take
yes.
a normal reverse cylinder out, it's topped up completely.
Okay.
Because of the damage to this container, if the ether gel starts to run low, it'll put additional strain on the device.
So we want to make sure it's topped up.
We want to make sure it's topped up.
Okay.
If the container was in pristine condition and not damaged, might have been fine to bring it like this. But
how bad is the damage?
if the ether gel gets low, the strain that's put on it could cause the entire device to collapse.
Now, question that I have for you, is there a way that you know of to get another whole cylinder of this for backup, or perhaps have multiple? We are needing to make a trip to actually the Prime Spire where my father is, so perhaps we could talk to Miss Halfstep and see if...
His face pales a little as you mentioned Miss Halfstep.
She's already informed that
know.
we would be working with
She's
you.
terrifying.
She's a very small woman.
She's so cute. What
She's
are
very
you talking
little.
about? She's got
Oh,
little
well,
pigtails.
don't worry. We'll be there and we'll protect you from her.
She's the scariest person in this war, or in the city.
I didn't get that impression, but
No.
I've known her for a while, so...
I mean, she's very fierce.
Very fierce, yes, absolutely, and she's very smart as well, but anyway, we're getting off. We could probably get some more there if you think that's possible.
The spires are the source of the ether gel.
That I know, yes.
We can fill up the container, but to get the container itself, you'd probably have to go find where repulsor cylinders are made, any sort of factory, any sort of construction spot. Like,
I mean, you've been an operator of one of these for your entire adult
an
life, do
operator,
you
I've
know?
never bought or...
I think Astra's going crazy.
Uh-oh. It's spreading.
What?
Maybe it's just wind from the hall?
Either way,
Anyways.
we're getting sidetracked. I think for the first test, perhaps we can fill it up, and then we can speak with my father or send a message and see if they can acquire us one quickly enough.
Yes, I think it would. The containers themselves would be from people who have functional repulsor cylinders.
Sure.
Other operators might have some. There might be some in storage at Ward with the artificers.
Okay.
Some
Well,
of
we
them
are
might
working
have
under
some
a
in storage.
contract with Miss Halfstep, so we could probably.
But swapping one of these containers is not a trivial thing. You have to almost open it up and
Sure.
take it out, make sure you don't damage it.
That's
put a new
why I
one in.
suggest perhaps
Well-
we fill it up and do the test
Yes,
first.
refilling it is much easier.
Big lad.
Yes.
Assuming that our mission works and
Mhm.
we capture the energy, what do we do with it? Do we just hand it off at the Spire and do we swap containers for an empty one?
I don't think I've really thought about, to be honest, not many of my own personal projects end up working, aside from the professor.
Do
So
you think that the Spire would be, I don't know, the place to distribute this? Because
I'm kind of working on a step-by-step process. I would love to see if this thing even works. And then we'll decide how we use it, or where we distribute it, or how we go about performing it again. But I think for now we just need to make sure it works. Because I definitely have faith in my abilities, but again, it's... my track record doesn't necessarily speak for itself.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have seen nothing but success from you so
Oh,
far.
well, I appreciate that, but
I mean, you got...
you haven't seen my workshop over the years.
What I have seen is the dog and the owl.
That is true. That is true.
Alright, well, shall we head off?
If everybody's ready,
Sure. And he grabs his backpack,
pack it back up and put it on.
grabs some supplies, some rations,
Yep.
a small bag. Gets set to leave. There's like a ring of keys just jangling by his belt. And he's like, you step outside. He looks back, locks all three of the locks, and then continues. So,
We'll drop the key off inside, obviously. Check out.
as you do, Nipno goes up to the counter and puts 2 gold coins on the counter and says to Hilda, it's the same woman as there from last night, Hilda. He says, I'm going to be out for I don't know how long. I've already paid up for the room, but this is to keep quiet that I left. And she like looks and nods. The rest of the bar is empty right now.
All right. Well,
Head out and find yourself in the streets.
We're going on an adventure.
It's bright and sunny. There's no cloud in the sky above you.
Where are we going? Are we going toward 8 or the direction of 6?
What's
Where
the
Caldir
plan?
saw the clouds?
Do we want to go check in, get some information potentially for the problem we have with Arkmir, or because we might be able to hit 2 eggs with 1 chicken?
So what? Oh,
I don't know. I
never
heard
mind.
something like that once.
Call
Never
me
mind.
an egg?
No, you're not the egg. The problem's the egg.
Is he the chicken?
I think we're the chicken.
No,
I don't
that-
really
that's
know, to be honest.
You're a chicken.
Are you calling
All
me
right,
a
let's
chicken?
move past the point. we can solve 2 problems in one go.
So we head south?
Where are we again?
You're in Ward
4, so we could go into 1.
Yeah,
could
we
go
can
into
see
one.
your papa.
To
One is
then-
the central one.
So
Your
did,
dad say to go see him.
yes, we need to go to
No,
the main spire. He's not home.
Told-
He's at the main
Yeah,
spire.
he said that we need
Perhaps
to go
we should
to the
indeed,
main-
especially if we need to refuel. Let's stop, see my father, perhaps get some new parts ordered, at least for when we might need them. Say hello to my father, maybe have a tea. We could stop at a couple of the shops, get
Maybe
ready.
stop at Sophistication and Ward 2 real quick on the way.
No, lass,
It's
that's
not-
that's the
Ward
other
2 is
one.
not really on the way,
Not
but
on the way.
I promise you once this is all done, I would love to check out Sophistication.
Laz, I know you like your soirees, but it's not time for
Think of this adventure as a soiree. We're having our, I promise it'll be fun. I think.
Double promise.
I will single promise for now.
So you all start walking down the
we'll
street.
Telegram.
Which way are you headed? From Ward 4, you can go either towards Ward 1 or Ward 2 or Ward 5. Which way are you
I
headed?
think Ward 1 is the
Ward
play.
Yeah.
And we'll try and head to meet
to the
father at
northwest
at,
entry of
uh,
Ward 1.
yeah. Try and head to the main spire to see him and Miss Hastep where they told us to meet him.
Is there anyone following us?
Make a perception check.
Is there that goddamn
I'll
crow?
assist.
Where are we right now? Are we still?
We're leaving Ward 4 and
Four.
going towards my home.
Okay.
Well, not my home, but Ward
ready.
1.
Yeah. Perception of 7.
Is it
26.
crow or a tree?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I can see.
Mr. Oh man.
Is there a crow?
180.
Yep.
Neck check.
As you head out, you see that the streets are, for the morning, much more crowded than they were at night. There's a lot of people just loitering about, a lot of people wandering about, carrying some, carting goods from building to building. Some people just carrying boxes, a lot of kids running about.
Fucking youths.
You don't catch anybody following you or anybody paying too close attention to you, but obviously being like the group that you are, with the big one in particular and like a large thing strapped to his back, he draws attention. People will turn and look, and some of them might have heard of the big one, the only Loxodon in the city, but most of them don't seem to be bothering you or paying that much attention to you. You arrive at a plaza that has at the corner a temple of sorts that's set up that I think you've seen before, the House of Collaboration, and you know that along this way leads you to the entrance to Ward 1.
Do I see Rufus?
No, you do not.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah, Rufus.
Yeah, the crow.
Our roof is the
That's
bar.
weird. I just flicked through my
Yeah.
notes. Apparently, I just have a thing that says sex. I don't know. I don't really know what
That's
that
the
means.
important. You got that. You got the important stuff down.
Important notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
House of Collaboration?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the temple. Yep.
There before.
We were the very first time we heard that is when we were going to find Nipner the first time,
that's the first time
and they
we
said
passed
he
it.
lived in a tavern not far from the House of
Oh,
Collaboration.
right. Okay.
Yeah, a brief, maybe like hour and a half walk through the city. Crowded, you're like jostled a little bit, like shoved a little out of the way. You did notice around the House of Collaboration there are guards placed of the Iron God. Nobody seems to be bothering them. So things seem to be a little better. Momentarily, you do see walking in the opposite direction to you. Off in the distance, like far away from where you are, almost on the opposite side of the street. You clock somebody that you remember seeing underneath the mushroom match.
Underneath.
When we went
Yeah.
down,
One of the Goliath.
Yeah.
He's got like a hood up, he's got
Yeah.
like leather armor on, just walking along the street.
Hmm.
He doesn't notice you. At least he hasn't yet.
Yeah. One of, just quietly to the group, one of Ezekiel's men is on the other side of the road there, on the plaza or
The
where
street.
Yeah, the other side of the street there. I don't think he's noticed us yet. Don't know if it matters if he does, but just letting you all know.
Should I try and hide?
It's kind of hard for you to hide, I guess.
Well, that's
but
true.
If we just
What if I go like this?
That's better.
I mean,
sure.
if he already has eyes on us, and I just kind of point up,
Yeah, I don't.
doesn't even matter.
I don't think so, but just wanted to let you know that he's here. But we might as well keep going on our way. And I'll just try to keep an eye on him. I don't think he's like, yeah.
You walk, there's like, he momentarily like disappears almost in the crowd. You try to keep an eye on him, you see him. He doesn't seem to have noticed you, and you cross paths, and you're both going in opposite directions. He seems to be here on, not really after all looking for you or anything. You just recognize them on the street with a really high perception roll.
Just send us like a message. It's like, bitch.
Yeah.
And then just keep going. It's like, what?
So yeah, you said we were like going through crowds.
It is fairly crowded.
I'm try just pickpocketing someone along the way.
First off, make a perception check to spot a target.
An elderly woman.
Only the bad people, though.
Yeah.
The one you can just tell.
That is all relative. What are they?
Perception.
Perception. Oh, that's the 15. I think my perception is modifier 0.
You spot somebody who's carrying like a large barrel almost over their shoulder, and they've got a coin purse hanging from their side that's pretty much openly visible. And
That was weird.
they look kind of tired. They're like sweaty and like trying to make their way through this large crowd. They seem fairly distracted. They would be a good mark. Make a stealth check after that.
Oh my god, there's so many checks. Not 20.
Whoa.
Where did Ahmed?
You disappear
The
into the
Assassin's
crowd,
Creed thing.
making
Yes.
your way around.
There's all of this,
behind
now I'm
them.
gonna fuck it up.
As you get close, just within reach, make a sleight of hand check to cut the
Here
purse.
we go.
So sleight of hand.
I'll kick him in the face if he notices.
Not 20.
You did get the barrel.
Yeah.
You're just naked.
He does not notice.
You're like fully in his close
He doesn't even notice somehow. He's still just like this.
He's just
back there, and he's like,
identity.
yeah.
It's like a
You-
bug in the game at this point.
You cut his purse,
You're doing
and he
things.
doesn't notice. But at the same time as you cut his purse, he almost like turns to the side to like look down the street in the other direction, and you see that on the hand that's holding the barrel, he's got like a ring on
Oh, he's stealing
one
the
of
ring.
his fingers. And it would be rough, but
Oh, that's what
you
we're
think
doing.
that if you can distract him long enough to put the barrel down somehow, with your natural 20 on your side of hand, you could probably get that.
I'm going to bump into him enough that I think will make him almost drop this barrel.
Or at least have to put it down.
But like, my goal is to bump into him and make him kind of fumble it, but help him catch and like drop it to the ground.
Make a performance check.
Oh, here we go. This is it. That one.
That wasn't that one.
Oh
Wait.
Isn't it that one?
Oh man.
So that one's still in that one. Right?
That's that one. That's a one.
It's
Plus,
not on
there's
skill checks.
usually for
No.
attacks.
That's a total of a 7.
So you bump into him, and he like stumbles. He puts the barrel down, and you are able to snag the ring. But as you grab it, he like turns towards you. Hey, what the fuck are you doing? He just like shoves you away from him.
Oh.
Make a strength saving throw.
Stab him. Now's your chance.
Strength saving throw.
Is that a hot dog?
It's a ring.
19.
No,
He just like you keep your like he shoves you back, but you don't fall back. He's like, watch what you're doing. This barrel is more valuable than your filthy life.
Should've gone
for
for
the
the barrel.
barrel and like puts it on his shoulder and like starts walking away.
I stab and take the
No,
barrel.
stab the back of the barrel so all the liquid falls out.
But he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't notice that his coin purse and his ring are missing.
You just took his wedding ring.
You don't know if he was good or bad.
I'm the captain now.
Great grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's in
He's
the
just
family
doing
forever.
thief things.
And yeah, I just rejoin the group.
You rejoin the group, and as you can see off in the distance, the wall toward one, and the gate is closed, and there are iron guards standing on it, and there's a large walker mech that is standing in front of it, and by
Didn't think that one
a
was
member
gonna
of the elite
happen.
guard.
Right.
I'll
See it off in the distance.
pull that piece of paper out that has to pass. I don't even know if we need it anymore, but it's the one that says we can freely pass.
Yeah.
The Iron Will. Will? That is our name, right?
Is Caspian there?
As you approach, you do not see anyone you recognize.
Ah.
But there are guards, and everybody like it seems like the crowd is also kind of giving a wide berth to the gate. The street is mostly empty towards this end of the ward.
Good evening, or day, or yes, day.
Gates closed.
Yes, we're actually we're on a bit of a mission for Miss Halfstep, and I'll just pass the paper.
Like unstraps from the giant walker mech that he's in. Like, leans down, grabs the paper, looks at it, hands it back. Open the gate.
Thank you very
I'll
much.
go up, make sure nobody else is coming. Like trundles forward and
Thank you very
starts
much.
making his way the opposite direction to where you are.
Is the mech the same one that Galaran used?
No, not at all.
Same
The
one,
mech is the
same one we
that
saw at the
you
Spire.
saw in the Spire. at the
Yeah,
Spire.
big ass things.
This is much more like that one was a little bit more like shoddy construction, more like gears and cogs and pieces, like it was custom made. These are sleek, like armor plated, like almost like it's almost like the person who's sitting in it is sitting in a cockpit of sorts. Whereas in that one, like Gallon was literally just like standing on top of it. and
Was
stuff
that
like
one like a construction machine, or was that
Which one?
the one that Galaran was on?
You have no idea where it came from.
Do I recognize the plate material in the?
It's mostly
The mech?
electro steel.
Just kidding.
Mostly electro steel with some iron
Best metal
components.
in the world.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Excuse me, appreciate it. Is there a reason why this ward is still closed off? You might not know this, but I do live here.
We got orders to keep the gate shut.
Oh, okay. Just wondering.
Jag do as jag told.
Thank you. A little bit of time passes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and eventually you notice that the gate is like open, but just barely open enough for all of you to kind of squeeze through. and fit
After you
through it.
all.
Walk through.
Yeah.
You make your way through, and
What's your name?
He's like,
It's a list of names.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, there is.
Cran.
Cran.
like cranberry?
Cran.
Like a thing you draw with?
Cran?
Cran.
I do like a yellow cran.
Yellow is a nice color.
Yellow is my favorite color.
It's actually my favorite.
CRANN. Cran.
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 Oh, well, the N is silent.
He seems very.
You're gonna get
Not-
shot out of the back.
He's had enough of your shit already. He's just met you. It's basically the vibe that you get off
I'm
of
just gonna write crayon.
it.
No notes attached to it. I'm just writing the word crayon.
That's what I did too.
Yeah.
You make your way through the gate, and the immediate first thing that you notice is that Ward 1 looks exactly as it was when you left.
Oh, isn't
Everything
she
is
beautiful?
lit. There's beautiful trees, gardens. Everything seems as though there's nothing
It's
wrong
been a long time.
in the world.
People on the street.
On the streets, walking about, like a park, and people are sitting on the bench in the park, just having a
I
polite
flip
conversation.
over my cape so you can see my arm proudly.
We're home.
And we'll start heading towards the spire.
Getting towards the spire.
Think so. Anybody need to stop at shop right now?
I'm just looking out for a magnifying glass.
We could also do that on the way
I'll
out.
probably find
People
a
wanna
magnifying glass.
think about what they need.
Clankus?
Okay.
He's close to the spire.
Ward 1.
Yeah.
Close to Spire.
The closest place of interest to the gate is the old iron salvage yard, which you have no reason to go to.
We have
but
no
it might
reason to
be-
go to.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's also been exploded and blown up.
It's also true.
And then the Yanavok Spark Guy's home. And then Planko's is farther off to the east, near, like along the way to the east gate out towards 6. But along the way, like it's
Yeah.
more close to
We
like,
might
the
be
central
going on that
location.
way on the way out, so
Yep.
let's go to the spire.
Like you would have to
first.
go south almost like past it. Like you're here right now. This is where the spire is. Planko's is like here.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll figure out if we need to go after. We'll go to the spire first. Are we walking past my home?
No, your home is a little bit more tucked off. You could if you wanted.
I just wanted to fix the stupid gargoyle. Turn him. It's fine. We don't need to do that. Yep, we'll just head
Big
to
one.
meet them.
Oh, yes.
There's something I've been wanting to talk to you about.
Oh, certainly.
Do you have any magnifying glasses?
I mean, I can certainly make you one. At the moment, I don't think I have one on me, but if you give me a day or two, I certainly can make one for you.
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll do it.
Just want to be like Nancy Shrew.
Who?
The books that I had from back in the tower, Nancy Shrew.
Oh,
She used to go around solving mysteries. She had a magnifying glass. I just wanted to be like her.
interesting. She sounds like a wonderful lady.
Mm-hmm.
Make.
You make your way through the streets of Ward 1 for another hour or two. It's like early afternoon, roughly. That you find yourself in the vicinity of the Prime Conduit Plaza. You do notice as you're approaching that there are guards posted around the spire. Similarly to when the high alert situation was going on, there are the mech walkers that you've seen, the armored guard with their sort of like large gauntlets, similar attire to what Caspian had been wearing when you had encountered her in this ward.
Approach it.
Otherwise, things seem like normal. Like you've lived here in this ward for forever, and nothing seems out of place.
Cool.
You're walking, you do look up in the sky now that the ward is a little bit more decongested. Like in Ward 4, it was hard to even see like off in the distance. In Ward 1, it's much easier to see. There's definitely a black clouds situation happening to your northeast. So
6.
How's the weather today?
bright sunlight otherwise.
Is it Are we in the summer? Are we in the...
It's like early fall to late fall.
Beautiful. Best.
Okay.
It's not cold per se, but it's not.
Sweater weather.
Yeah. And like Schema in general doesn't get that cold. It's definitely nowhere near as cold as where you're from.
Probably feel a bit hot.
Yeah, probably.
Alright. Up to the spire.
As you approach the Prime Conduit Spire.
You got a new page.
It looks the same as it is before.
Oh.
You approach and there's a couple of guards stationed there. The plaza is open. It's not closed off anymore, so you can make your way up the stairs if you choose to enter and cross over to the other side. Or just visit the spire itself.
Spire for now.
Yeah.
Start making your way up the stairs. Nipner gets tired a little bit. He's a little bit winded, not used to getting this much exercise in a day.
You'll get used to it.
There's guards?
There's guards around.
Oh, around? Okay. If there's not like
They're looking
one...
at you as you
Okay.
approach. But
Yeah. I'm home. It's fine. Yeah, I'll just head in if there's no guard at the actual front of it.
no, there's no. There are guards at the sides of the stairs, basically, and
Yeah.
they look at you, but they allow you to go through. They're not
Easy enough.
closed or anything. So
Let's go. Heading
make
in.
your way up the stairs when you find yourself in the sort of like museum-style plaza at the base of the spire. You notice the exhibits; they all look mostly the same as they were when you had last left. There's still the exhibits detailing about how the progress of technology and Schema is furthering the lives and enrichment of all of its citizens and stuff like that. You remember behind one of the exhibits where the elevator and the entrance to the spire proper was. As you approach there is definitely a guard station there, and as he looks up, you do recognize him as the guard who you had encountered here before, Captain Shiro.
Right.
Shiro.
He holds up his hand, looks at you all.
Captain?
Captain Shiro, it's great to see you again. We're actually just here to visit my father and Miss Halfstep. I believe they should be here.
The Iron Will?
That is us.
Right, I knew I
What
remembered
the
you all.
hell, Lavin?
It's expanded.
This
Mr.
is
Lavin
starting to
Rice.
get Weird.
A few days after the bachelor party, and you're already writing about his fiance.
Death to Derek? What?
Whoa! God damn!
Wow.
It's the only way. Oh man.
Attaché Livistar told us
yes,
to keep an
Livistar.
eye out
We'll find it today.
for your group. He said to be informed immediately if you arrive, so you
wonderful.
wait here for a moment. I will go.
Yes,
first.
if you can send word for Attaché Livistar.
He leans down into his pocket, and he's not in a mech walker suit or anything.
Yeah.
He's simply wearing like the armored suit with the gauntlet. He almost pulls his hand out of one of the gauntlets and reaches down into his pocket, pulls out a stone, kind of puts it to his ear
Stones.
and says,
Who's your daddy?
"Mr.
He's just talking his pet, right?
Mr.
Yes.
Attaché Livistar, your guests have arrived. Over." Puts the stone away.
Do you need that?
Yes.
Oh. Can you tell me where I might find one of those?
Part of the standard requisition package for a captain of the elite guard.
How do I become a captain of the elite guard?
Lots of training, which will be a bit hard considering the training ward is closed.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
A few moments pass as you wait. And you hear.
Sorry, because right now, isn't there a platform and then you go up and that's where we had the meeting before?
Yes.
Am I combining Critical Role and our campaign? Was there not a statue holding?
There is a large statue.
There's a statue at the
Okay.
base there, yeah.
And with a map almost in the hand, holding the land.
No, that
That's-
part is from Critical.
That's
There
from
is a large statue.
That's from the Calamity.
There is a large statue that's standing beside the elevator
Is it
Shadow.
that you're waiting for. It looks very
City's
similar
floating.
to.
Yeah.
Wait,
we're on
that.
Okay.
It's called
marble.
Avatar?
Looks,
Yeah.
obviously it's not made of metal.
Sure.
It is a marble statue, but it is looking impassively down at you all. Occasionally, you can tell it moves a little. Like some dust falls off of it.
Nipnir, have you been here before?
No.
Oh, there's no need to be afraid. This is my home. We're glad you could arrive.
I've been to Ward 1 before.
Oh, but you've never been to the Spire?
No.
Oh, well, this is the Spire.
Never been up. That's for sure.
Well, we're about to.
Usually, anytime I need to get a refill, it's like at one of the smaller spires. I never make my way over here.
Oh, well. Why not go to the biggest and the best?
Probably because they don't allow anyone to access the downstairs.
I might have some ins.
The elevator door opens, and out steps the man that you recognize. Some of you recognize. Some of you went upstairs to speak
Oh,
to him.
We didn't.
Mr. Livistar.
He's very slim, very slender in some ways, almost 6 feet tall. Dark or like
Totally
actually not
thought he
dark,
was a gnome.
like light gray skin with a shock of reddish orange hair. He's wearing like these half moon gold rimmed glasses.
I don't think you explained
Wearing
that
like
to
an
us before.
expensive looking outfit in some ways, a button up shirt with like a vest, black vest, orange tie, very well put together, very prim and proper.
Livistar's. I'm just gonna write Livistar's a boss.
Livin' star?
Livid star.
Livid star.
Like a mad star.
What did we
No,
see?
T. Livid star.
As he steps out, you can see him like pulling his cuffs. He crosses his arms and looks at you all.
Hello, Mr. Livistar. It's good to see you again.
I hope your progress on the project went admirably.
I'll just tap the metal.
Ah, that's what you put together.
I
I don't know what I expected, to be honest. I hope the supplies found you properly. There was nothing waylaid along the way.
No, I think we had everything we needed to put it together.
The contract was fulfilled properly.
Yes, we might need a few more things, so we might need to amend it a little bit, but other than
Yes,
that...
there were some things that you requested that were harder to come by and to be able to get into the ward safely.
Certainly.
Well, Miss Halfstep and certain of our close compatriots have been very busy underground, and they mentioned that when you all arrived, I was to escort you downstairs.
I'll look at Nipnor and be like,
Yes, that'd be
I
wonderful.
will have to ask you all to... Not sure we've met. Thessalonicus Livitstar. Pleasure to meet you.
I don't know what he just said, but
What?
Bless you.
Thessalonicus.
his first name's Attaché.
Tessalonicus?
Thessalonicus.
Tesla. Inicus.
Alvin.
you just write Tesla Ellen?
Yep.
Tesla Ellen?
Tesla Ellen Kiss.
You can call me Tess, or Attaché, or Livitstar, or Mr. Livitstar.
Mr.
Anyway.
Livistar.
Well, nice to meet you. You can call me Astromaris.
Pleasure. And I'm not sure we've met Calpier. I'm not sure we've met.
Yeah,
Have
we met.
Yeah, I think it was
Yes.
us three.
Those
Do you
guys-
remember like barley and the
Yes, the negotiation about those supplies. Correct.
Oh,
The
you're
blacksmithing
why
supplies
we have so many apples.
Yes, it was wonderful.
apples were him.
I figured.
I hope they came in use.
Mm-hmm.
Thank-
I'll have some if you would like one. Okay.
And you are... He looks down. Nipnor kind of looks up. Nipnor?
He's our pilot for this project.
Dipdorf. Yeah.
Throwback!
Yes, well, I will have to ask you all to agree to some confidentiality agreements for being escorted downstairs. Anything that you see down below is not to be mentioned or spoken of outside of, well, downstairs.
What stays in the downstairs stays in the downstairs.
Exactly.
I can't tell if you fucked it up and just made it work for Astra. Because like midway through, you're like, what stays in the downstairs?
It was that.
I like it though. It's perfect for Astra.
He pulls
Astra
out
shit
like a
there.
small form and like immediately just starts like holding it up in one hand and like writing down the names of everybody on it. He hands it to you. Please sign the documentation.
Can we read it first?
Sign it with what?
He
Your
hands
blood.
you the quill.
No, I mean, like, what do you want me to write?
Your name
Dum-dum.
on the line.
Why didn't you just write my name?
It's a official contract. Think of it as signing for. Have you never received any packages that you have to sign for?
No, I'm not familiar with this process.
Oh, basically it's like a fit, and I will hold up the pen. It's a fancy way of writing your name.
Lad, you're writing your name. You're promising to do what's in that.
Yeah,
paper.
Kalthir, can you read it first?
But now that you say it, it's weird because anybody could write your name. It would be the same.
As you read it,
Yeah.
it goes, I hereby concede that consent.
Yeah, I can
that
see
I can see.
my free will.
I hereby consent and agree that any information gained during this
Cannon will be used
expedition
against you in the court of law.
Yeah.
will not be mentioned outside of this area. Essentially, like a very long-winded legalese way.
It's an NDA.
You kind of get lost
an
halfway
NDA.
through it, to be
Okay.
honest.
Can we just shorten it to I hereby consent to whatever stays downstairs.
Stays downstairs.
He can't help but smile momentarily.
In a way, it kind of works. Whatever stays down there, stays down there.
We've summarized the whole contract.
I hope you understand. This is simply a
I'm
requirement.
writing that down. That's a
for-
t-shirt.
I'm sure your companion has signed many such documents as part of his work in Ward 1.
Oh, did you want to sign this then?
Is it just one person?
Oh no, each of you needs to sign it.
Yeah, write your names.
He signs it, you write your name. Each of you.
Astra has, by the way, like a big loopy fancy A. When she signs her name, there's like little stars.
That's how I sign my name.
That's pretty nice. Oh, the E is
The big
backwards.
Yeah, the
Big
big
on.
one.
The first E is correct, and the next E is
That's just how he does it.
I'm learning, okay?
Make sure that no one copies it.
You all sign the document?
Yep.
Yep. Astra?
Yeah.
Yes, and he already did. Do you need the professor to sign it?
No.
Okay.
You can sign it now. Yeah.
He takes the quill back and signs one of the bottom things and folds it away, tucks it inside his vest. Well, I don't think we'll all fit in the elevator at once, but
Oh,
maybe in
I usually don't fit.
maybe in a couple of trips.
Sure.
Which ones of you would like to accompany me first?
I should probably go down first.
Yeah, that's fine.
Big one. And the rest of you can follow. I'm sure Captain Churro will come in the elevator and get you situated in.
We'll see you folks down there. And then Professor
He
comes.
enters into the elevator. He presses almost like a recessed button that's hidden on the side. And one of the wall panels to the right kind of slides open. Behind it, there's an array of buttons. There's maybe 8 to 10 different buttons, each of different sizes and different shapes. And you just see him kind of wait till you two, Astra and the big one, you get in. And then he just starts going to town on these buttons. He's pressing them in an order that is too fast for any of you to follow.
What about calculator?
Can I follow it?
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a DC. He's like, "What's your maximum DC?" Yeah.
No.
No, 14.
You get the first 3 buttons, and then the rest of the maybe 30 or 40 that he presses in the order that he's pressing them, you completely are unable to follow.
It's just like a baseball signal. Like he needs 3 buttons pressed in a particular order, but like he presses 30 in order for it to...
Oh, it's all the decoy stuff, the extra shit. Yeah.
And as he finishes pressing that, there's a loud, almost like a siren noise in the elevator as the doors close.
Have I ever been down here?
You have been down there once.
Okay.
This is the due process of getting down there. Somebody who knows the code needs to come with you and let you in.
Does that sound normal?
Oh,
Yes.
everything's okay.
Okay.
And the elevator just almost like begins to drop down.
Hold
That's a good
on.
spot to take a break.
No.
Oh shoot.
We'll
All
be
right.
right back in about 5 or so minutes.
Yep. See you soon.
Bye
See
bye.
you shortly. And welcome back. So, with the elevator falling rapidly,
Jump.
Oh no.
Big One and Astro begin their descent. The rest of you are waiting outside the elevator up.
Elevator music playing.
Yeah.
There's no music.
Is there like there's just an open shaft there?
No, the door is closed.
I got an open shaft.
Oh.
What?
The elevator door is closed.
Oh, there are elevators.
Oh, so it's not a cool glass one like at a hospital? Damn it.
No.
Definitely.
I was imagining like a mine shaft elevator, so it just like goes down, but you could like.
Big One's just peeing in a corner.
There is no indicator or anything of where the elevator is.
Is there still someone there? Oh,
Does
sorry.
not say what floor or
Smells
anything.
like-
There's
Is there
literally
still
nothing,
someone
just a door.
standing by the buttons?
Captain Shiro.
Shiro's still there.
Okay.
It's the purple cape.
Yeah. It's true.
Wait, Captain who? Wasn't it?
Shiro.
Shiro.
That was Livistar. Live at
No,
Star.
Livistar.
So the star is with the two of you.
Let us start.
That's the
Yeah,
aftershave
it's with you and
that
I.
took you two down.
Oh, we're talking. No, we weren't. We're
There's-
talking about you guys.
You're gonna walk up to him like, I've never seen anything like this. How does
There aren't many of them.
it seems to
Again.
be honest
sorry.
a little overly complicated
drank
to
a
just
lot
go
of
down?
juice.
What's the idea behind this?
Well, nobody's allowed down. So,
So that's your password?
some ways.
Mellow.
Have you ever been down?
Not personally, no.
You should probably try entering a little bit faster because we can all make it out.
Change it every few days. To be honest, not many people have been down or up from down until very recently. So,
We're special.
As captain, do you still do your training routines, or after
once in a while.
after a certain post you don't do the morning runs anymore?
I still do. Occasionally, maybe once a week. Not every day.
It's good to be sharp.
Actually, I feel like last time I was here, I was talking to him about his weapons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's good to remain sharp. I mean, my uncle Gruff, he's captain of the guard back at the southern gate of Cornwall. I go training with him whenever I'm in town.
Yeah. I find that in my line of work, let's just say the weapons that I trained with aren't the weapons that I use anymore. And the weapons that I'm using right now probably won't be the same weapons that I'm using 6 months from now. So,
Why not?
keep making newer things. These gauntlets, they're fairly new, to be honest.
Well, they look pretty shiny.
Are they mandated, or do you choose to use them?
The general weapons are mandated. Some people put a little bit more of a flourish on them.
There's standard issue equipment for each post. Anything beyond that, usually. I mean, that at least that's the case back home, but I don't know how it's here.
There's specialized equipment. Before this role, I used to be more of a scout, manning the wall, manning some perimeters. So
Oh, so range weapons is your thing.
that used to be my thing. Now it's all close quarters. So
Very different skill set.
it is, but I think they, from what I was told, my positioning here was due to a keen eye of sorts. This is a very public-facing, probably one of the most important public-facing buildings in the city. They need someone to be able to spot threats, assess whether civilians entering and walking through the building are going to prove to be dangerous.
What is Nipner doing? He's with us, right?
Yeah, it's
Is
just kind of hanging out, not really doing much. He seems nervous.
Okay.
A minute or two pass, and eventually the elevator slows down and comes to a stop. The door opens and
I'm
you
really
find
sorry
yourself.
about the floor.
I didn't see a bathroom.
The door opens in front of you, and you find yourself big one for you. You'd gone upstairs. It's a very similar hallway in some ways.
Damn it.
Shake my leg.
Sorry.
It's very utilitarian in some ways, and you've been down here before, so it looks very much the same as the last time you were down here.
Just as I remember.
It's not made of metal or electrosteel. It's actually stone. It's been burrowed through, and that's part of what your sort of experience here was. It's almost like a natural cave of sorts, but the floor is like laid with this like metal, almost like grill grating. There's condensation almost everywhere. You can hear off in the distance the loud like water flowing noise. It reminds you in some ways of the spire that you were in Ward 3.
Yeah, makes sense.
Natural construction all around you. There's a few doors that are like recessed within caverns along on either side. Each of them has like signs on it. The first one to your left says storage. And the second one to your right says lab and research. And then off in the distance you see another one that says repair and fabricator. But this tunnel almost like continues on for good solid like 100, 200 feet off in the distance as far as you can see. And it's dark. It's not really super lit either. Tess kind of turns to you all. Well, I'll send he like starts to put in a complicated thing on the elevator buttons and then steps out. This will go up and your companions will join us shortly.
Alright.
Do you have any questions for me?
Which way to my father, or are we waiting? Sorry.
I think it's best to wait.
Sure. Okay.
Hoku is very agitated. He's like snuffling against you and like looking off in the distance down the hallway.
Okay. I wait until
Like craning his neck off in the distance, very eager, like on his haunches. It's like claws are like digging into your shoulder a little bit.
okay.
What are you waiting for?
Until he's going back up on the elevator.
No, he's sending the elevator up, and he's just waiting here for the elevator to go up.
Is it okay if I let him fly around a bit?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna put my hand on Big One's shoulder and see through Hoku.
You look through Hoku, and you notice as soon as like she goes into Hoku, he like calms down. Craning your neck, you're looking out. You don't see anything.
Oh, but like then like he can. Like,
You
go
fly
for
off and like fly off towards the end of the corridor.
Mm.
You like, get up and start flying down this like natural tunnel. You see a few more doors off to either side, but off in the distance, you very soon start to see a large gate. It looks almost like what you would imagine a vault gate to look like with a giant wheel. It's like spun. It's like takes up the entirety of the whole massive hallway. Probably like a solid 60, 70 feet across. Thick metal. Closed.
Key, please.
Is he showing it like whatever he's interested in is through there?
When you're in there, you don't feel anything. You don't feel any pull or tug or anything.
It's the shard. It's the device. It's attracting him for sure.
Like you don't get his like thoughts.
Oh
about,
yes.
Right? Like you're
but like when
you're inside of him.
does it seem like that's where he wants to go though? Like when he's flying to do
He was
something?
craning his neck in that direction. If
Okay.
you let go of his senses and let him fly off, then you might be able to follow him. But
Okay.
while you're in him, you're in control of the place, right? So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I understand. I'm gonna have him fly back and come back on my shoulder.
A minute or so passes and this elevator, the elevator door opens up again. Oh, with me, I guess.
Well, welcome to the Spire. After you.
Well, you all The elevator opens up on
Oh,
the
I got
ground
it.
level.
I got it.
And Shiro says to turns and says
Yeah.
to the rest of you and ignore. Well, with me, I guess.
Sure.
He steps in and he starts pressing the buttons. And he's a lot slower than Livingston.
I'll watch him more this
So if
time.
you watch him more, make an investigation or perception.
No way. No
Can I help?
No way.
It's sword.
It's like a solo thing. I don't think you can help
It's
with
like
it.
I'll just get the first 3.
22.
You think you have a pretty good idea, but you also notice that like sometimes he like doubles back and has like a little bit of hesitation. So you're not quite sure. Like you could replicate what he did,
Ariel.
but you're not sure whether there were any problems with it or what.
Yeah.
Right? Like you think if with that you kind of get the general gist of what buttons he was pressing. Remembering it as a whole separate sword.
Yeah.
Because there's probably like 40 or so buttons and you just memorize like very quickly the combination that he was pressing.
Definitely not just writing it down right now. No, I'm not.
Okay.
He shoots you in the face. The elevator opens at the bottom. Kelthier's just dead.
Yeah. No, after he's kind of done pressing it, though, I am going to ask him, do you feel like people here have become too reliant on these inventions?
As the door closes.
Go.
Oh. Yes. You know, it's strange because Magitech and all of the creations here have done a lot for the city. They've done a lot for safety and prosperity and growth. But the wizards of War II don't use any of it. And they're perfectly fine. We live just like any of us here.
Do you live here in the world?
Hmm?
Do you live here in World 1?
No, in War II. War II doesn't have has next to no Magitech in it.
No, I'm asking you. Do you
Do
live?
I live here in Ward 1? Yes, I do. Most of the artificers, the elite guard, we have a barracks station here in Ward 1. The Iron Cog tends to live out in Ward 6. At the Iron Cog barracks and holding cells. They have their own barracks and holding cells out in Ward 6, basically. But for us, we tend to be stationed here mostly. Most of our time finds us in Ward 1. It's pretty rare that we end up going outside, at least before this most recent bout of unrest and, well, riots.
Those of War 2, though, they still benefit from the spires, right?
They do, but they don't benefit from any of the other, well, perks. No Magitech, no fancy magical alarms waking them up or telling them what time it is every day. No elevators. No automated Magitech sprinklers.
Do I get the sense he's saying this kind of snarkily that... Yeah, okay.
A couple of minutes pass, the elevator door opens, and... Or did you want to ask anything else in the elevator?
No, but I kind of wanted to try to perceive if there's any hint of disdain towards the artificers or like resentment.
Make an insight check.
They're jealous. I drank a lot of water.
That is a total of 16.
I think with a 16, you gather that there probably is a little bit. He's a little bit upset or miffed about something, but you're not quite sure what. That's what you can get with a 16. But like he's not fully happy or satisfied right now. as your elevator ride continues and comes to a little bit of a slows down, halts, opens, and you find yourself in this large, wide, natural tunnel with a steel grating on the floor. Unlit. You see Teslevitstar, and he's already pulled out almost like an orb that's glowing. And he's like just holding it in his hand. Well, this is all of you. Let us make our way, and when we enter the core chamber, be very mindful of your surroundings. It can be very slippery, it can be quite dangerous. Please try not to touch anything unless you are explicitly told to do so and are skilled enough to manage it. Almost anything within that chamber could be highly dangerous.
After you.
Onwards, he begins to make his way down the hallway.
Does Captain Shiro come with us?
No, Captain Shiro takes the elevator back up.
Take care of yourself, Captain. Thanks for the company.
He nods as the elevator doors close and he makes his way upstairs.
I bet Captain Jiro's very impressed.
I speak quietly to Kaltir. Did he seem a little annoyed to you or discontent?
It's always hard to understand what's going on behind the mask that people put on. He definitely did not seem to be, I guess, as pleased with everything as maybe some of the others around. But I'm not sure what could be the reason for that. Could just be a bad day at work.
Perhaps. I had the feeling that he was not too happy with the artificers. Or...
Maybe.
Maybe it's nothing.
As you walk past, about a little bit under the halfway mark, you can start to see in the distance this giant vault door. I didn't do my math properly.
Well, there's 6 if you include Nipper.
Astra, your foot steps on a piece of like the floor, the metal.
Oh no.
That seems a little bit like it seems to give underneath, almost as though it presses something down. And in front of you, on either side, 2 of these floor metal panels immediately spring up into these giant electrosteel metal turrets that are pointed down the hallway towards all of you.
Oh, look at that.
Tess?
Step off of that!
Uh,
And he holds up his orb.
And puts
Oh,
the
that's not
shields
supposed to
up.
happen. I thought it was a display.
He holds up his orb and immediately begins to cast something.
Oh.
I slowly step off of it.
As you
Get
step
behind me.
off, the turrets immediately begin to fire.
Ah!
Oh god.
Oh no.
And immediately in front of Tess, a large barrier of force appears that covers the entire hallway.
So he's Doctor Strange.
These bullets just hit the barrier.
Oh.
He reaches down into a pocket, into a belt. He pulls out what looks like a small, wand of sorts. He like points it through the barrier. He looks back at you all, says, "Duck." As you duck, he drops the barrier. These bullets start flying almost everywhere, all around you. And he points at one of the turrets, and then the other, and they immediately almost like freeze and stop functioning, and like stop pointing downwards. I would like each of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, good. I have very good
I was
dexterity.
gonna ask, where were they shooting? Like Like just at our level?
in the entirety of the hallway. Like there
I'm
were
Do I get
Tired?
any
They were just
advantage
firing-
for being hiding behind my shield?
Yes, you do get advantage for
Any from
then I will
hiding
do the
behind
same.
Big One?
I did tell her to get behind me, and I have my shield like this.
It's just plus the save.
Sure,
right?
I'll give you advantage.
I'm gonna need it.
I rolled a 13.
It's just a dexterity saving throw.
Yep. 14.
13.
13.
Let me see what the saving throw is.
Pretty good by the looks of it.
Yeah, it was saving throw. Dex plus 1. 17.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I almost had the wrong number. 19.
Each of you, except for Calthier, takes 2 points of piercing damage.
4.
Calthier, you take 5 points of piercing damage.
Oh, don't you think you should have warned us about that before we decided to trudge forward?
Yeah, what the hell?
You said don't touch anything. What about our feet? Didn't say anything about that.
I didn't realize they turned the defenses back on. That's
I mean, it is
My
very
fault.
impressive, but is there any more surprises we should be worried about?
don't touch that. He points at the wall door.
Okay.
That's the only other defense that I know
Really
of.
don't touch anything. But apparently it's very dangerous.
Just be careful.
Okay.
I don't know. They might have added more defenses since the last time I was down here, to be honest.
Do you want to lead the way? Follow?
I think that's what I was doing.
Yes, but
Well,
like
follow your
single
footsteps.
file. Like, you know, in snow when you leave footprints and you try and follow them so you don't get wet.
If you want, sure. He begins making his way down the hallway again.
I'm gonna be walking right behind him.
Mhm.
How do you do that stuff with your wand?
The wand?
Yeah. Look.
Oh, yes. This is a particular one that is attuned to the magic of those turrets.
Oh, it came
Lets
with.
me-
It was like a package deal.
Yes,
Oh, okay. I
it
see.
lets me
I put-
control those turrets in particular.
Do you have a name for your wand?
No.
It's a shame. The best weapons have names.
It's true. He always says that.
It's not really a weapon. I don't consider it a weapon. This is a weapon. And he holds up the
Calther,
orb that
don't
he's
pee.
holding.
Does it
It's
have a
already
name?
slippery enough.
This?
Shot, leave me alone.
Alright.
Focus.
Best weapons have a name.
Cynthia.
Blue steel.
Focus.
Oh, it's a
He
great,
holds it in his
unique
hands.
name.
It's nice. It's nice. I like it. It's clear.
It's a pebble.
You did notice that when he was casting the spell, the stone was floating in the air in front of him, and he was
Cool.
using his hands to cast the spell. And then he grabbed it again as he finished.
Is it like cut in any way, or is it just like a round like stone?
Smooth, round stone. Has like a little bit of a reddish orange hue to it.
A red pebble.
Yes, essentially. He makes his way, and even he's a little bit more careful this time. Make a perception check, all of you.
Does it involve smell?
No.
Do I get
Definitely
advantage
does
for
not.
hiding behind Big One?
What? For perception.
Perception.
Shot through me.
11.
12.
17.
16, 14.
Touch rolled a natural 20.
Oh.
He, as he's leading the
rolled
way, he
useless.
spots something off in the distance, and he's like, "One sec." That next, just keep your eyes open. There's like almost like a tripwire of sorts. I don't know what it does. I've never seen it before. Don't step on it.
About how high off the ground?
You'll see. And he like walks up to it and like steps over it.
I'll just lift after
Actually.
over it. Step over it.
What's that?
Professor, careful.
I'll just jump over it.
Nipner would have a little bit of trouble. So
I grab him like that.
We're just gonna be extra and just walk on the wall.
I can just set off the bomb. Yeah.
And as you're getting closer, the noise of like water flowing is getting louder. You can feel like a little bit more condensation in front of you. We do try to keep this place very heavily under lockdown, as you can see.
No kidding.
Nobody's allowed in.
Really? But it's so welcoming.
He walks up to the door now as he approaches the gate. He once again lifts up his orb, lets go of it and floats in midair. He starts holding his head and focusing on the giant tumbler. The tumbler slowly starts to spin in one direction, then the other. He's just concentrating on it with his mind. Then the third direction.
One Direction starts playing.
And then back in the fourth.
It's just turning a vinyl.
Eventually, there's this loud, clanging noise as the part that's spinning pulls out almost a little bit and locks in place, and the entire door kind of pushes in briefly.
Very cool.
Starts to swivel, and as soon as it starts to open and part, bright purple light starts to come out of where the crack is opening.
Yeah, is he going nuts though?
He immediately is gripping onto you and wants to fly through.
I'm just gonna hold him tight. What did you say?
I didn't say anything.
What are you guys talking about?
Just have to rewatch this thing.
Yeah.
Catch the rebound.
Sometime.
Probably.
We'll see.
As the door continues to pivot open, you look through and you see a very, very strange chamber. A massive stone cavern. But again, there's this metal grating bridge that's kind of leading out into it. To the right, as the doors swinging open, you can see the wall kind of continues on. There's a massive waterfall coming down into the chamber, and going under this metal bridge. It seems like there's almost a lake or something down below, maybe 10-20 feet below the bridge. It's just flowing water, almost like an underground lake.
So from the door, there's a bridge.
From the door, there is a metal bridge that leads straight across into this large, almost like a cylindrical central area.
Almost like an island.
Almost like an island. The walls of this cavern are, as far as you can see, up. You lose sight. You can't see where the walls stop and reach the ceiling.
Where's the waterfall relative to where
The waterfall is to the right.
Okay.
Are we directly? I'm just speaking to. God, who's it? Tess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just are we directly below the tower right now? Is that where this is going?
The waterfall to your right is coming from a tunnel that you can actually make out briefly up above, and it's massive. It's probably 50, 60 feet across. It's just rushing down into this lake that's underneath you, and it's kicking up a lot of mist also.
As impressive as the last time.
The island, the water is kind of flowing underneath this bridge, and it's making the bridge itself very slippery, very slick.
Very careful.
No, I was just curious. I mean, the climatology building had water, obviously to melt the clouds. What's the purpose of it here?
I'm not the expert in these matters. I simply work for the expert in this matters.
The city was built on it.
And as you can see now, as the door fully opens, you can see the source of this purple light. In front of you, where this sort of metal bridge spreads open, there's railings all around it, but there are a lot of machinery. Some machines, almost control console like electro-steel contraptions that are just moving and in all sorts of different patterns around it. You notice probably 4 or 5 figures rushing around between these and shouting out loud numbers and tots and just talking amongst themselves, shouting to be heard over the noise of the very loud waterfall in the vicinity. There are various control panels and other Magitech devices that are scattered about, as well as large pillars on either side of a central cylinder. The central cylinder seems to be made of some sort of clear glass crystal-like structure. And it is filled to the brim with a purple gelatinous liquid. And floating within are 5 metallic pieces that are emanating a very bright purple light throughout the entirety of the chamber. Each of them distinct. There's 4 that are smaller and 1 that is much bigger. You recognize these as being the shards of the Aetherion.
So cool.
As well as the original Aetherion. Floating in this cylinder, you can see at the top of the cylinder there's a very heavy mass of cables and tangles, transformers of sorts that are jutting up and continuing up into the spire itself proper. Underneath, you can see that this, almost like the cylinder, the glass cylinder, continues downwards and disappears under the surface of the water. Now,
do the pieces themselves, like, do they have very unique looks? Like, would we recognize the piece that we had?
as you approach and get closer, you probably would.
They correct me if I'm wrong, they like look the same, just different parts of a bigger piece. But they almost look like puzzle pieces.
They look like
to fit together to one.
Yes, they would.
Yeah.
They seem like they would fit together. You can see a couple that are like fairly cleanly able to fit together.
Yeah.
Floating
So
in there.
visually they look the same, but they're like different chunks of it.
So we see that the piece that we did, like, it's been returned there.
Yeah. As you begin making your way into the room and approaching, you see a couple of the gnome figures that are up ahead kind of look, and they notice you. You see one of them wave at you, and you recognize Sparkback. Your father. There's a couple of other gnomes there. You recognize Harriet Halfstep. She's there. She's rushing about from like one console to the other, just like talking, and stops when she notices you. Livid Star kind of leads you, all of you, up to it. Astra, I would like you to make an animal handling check.
How could gonna go caca and get shot in the face for
Oh wait, what am
touching
I
it?
looking at? I'm too nervous. 14.
Hoku really wants to fly up to the cylinder. Like he like almost like picks up a little bit off of your, like tries to like squirm out, but you're able to like keep him and like calm him for a bit.
Can I telepathically speak to him?
Yeah.
Do you think this is what Hester was talking about? Saying that there's going to be a decision to make soon? Do you think we're coming up to that? Hoku?
Well, I'll shoot her in the
You
face.
get back you get back a vision of almost like, because he can only speak back in like telepathic visions. The vision that you get back is of your tower back at home, or at north. He's at north. As you all approach, Nipnor is just in awe. Like he's in complete like disbelief at what he's seeing.
Close your mouth. That's okay. Just stay with us.
Half step kind of also
Don't say anything.
approaches.
Oh,
There's
good to
three
see
others.
you.
There's the 3 others are still working there, and Half step approaches and looks at you all. Well, so you made it.
Oh, yes. It's good to see you. We've completed the device.
Okay, good. Hopefully it works. I hear Livistar sent a message that there's this storm forming in Ward 6.
Yes, it would appear that way. It's still early, but it looks like it's within the city.
Well, that's not going to be pretty. Tess, have they evacuated Ward 6? No, some people are still staying behind because they don't have anywhere else to go. Then she turns to Tess and says, send them to Ward 8. And Tess just says, we've tried. They don't believe that Ward 8 is safe. Well, it's not safe, but neither is Ward 6.
If I may interject, perhaps we can get to Ward 6 and test the device on the storm that's forming there. It might buy the people some time.
That's assuming that the device stops the storm.
There's no way to know, but I don't think there's any harm in trying. If we're able to test it within the city limits, might be safer to make sure it actually works, and then if it does draw some of the power away from the storm to make it less harsh, then we should try.
Did you hear what happened in Ward 8?
We were given some indication of what might have happened.
What happened in Ward 8, Half Step?
That foolish, whatever he was, insurgent, the cloud that he sent out to Ward 8, it wasn't just a rain cloud, or didn't remain a rain cloud when it got there. Something went wrong. It became a lightning rift. It just wrecked. It completely wrecked almost half the ward.
And
Has anybody gone out there?
do you want to evacuate the people from Ward 6 there?
There's no storm there now.
That we know of. There's also no power there. There's no spire to stop it from happening from coming from outside the city.
Well, where else would I send them?
I don't know.
They can't stay in Ward 6. We have no way of stopping the storm.
Why not here?
More than half the people almost everyone from Freedom Hold just vanished. Haven't heard from them since.
Why don't we open the gates of
Wait.
Ward 1 to help these folks?
What do you mean vanished?
I mean,
Disappeared?
When we sent some guards over there afterwards to check out the building itself was surprisingly fine. People were gone.
Could have been the same thing that happened with your sister.
Were there any survivors? Anybody?
Not that I know of.
Cassandra.
We know Cassandra made it out.
We need to go there.
I'm not worried about the buildings or the infrastructure. It seems like the storm does more damage to the people that go within than to buildings. If we can evacuate the people, perhaps once the storm is, even if it's just momentarily, once the storm is passed, they can go back.
Maybe I'm overstepping some issues here, but perhaps we should open the gates to Ward 1 for these people. I mean, there's bigger things and issues than politics in this city right now. And if opening the gates even for a short time means saving the folks of Ward 6, then I don't know, it doesn't sound like a bad idea.
I wish that were my call to make.
Whose call is it?
Well, the only person that they would listen to would be the Primarch, the Council of Artificers. I'm chief engineer, but they rule by committee, not just my opinion or suggestions.
Perhaps
the Primarch would be the only one that they would listen to, and he's not here.
Well, perhaps it's time to tell the city that he's not here. What if the same thing happened to him that happened with the people of Ward 8? What happened to Timon's sister? They're out there, but we don't know how to get to them right now. We don't want to lose more people to the same thing. If you tell them that he's missing, they might listen to you.
But then they'll know, everyone will know. The people outside the Rexate will know.
But would your reputation
We
mean
already
more?
know there's spies and insurgents from Rioviz here. I just got word that there's someone from Icefall was caught recently entering the city.
Who?
They claimed they were visiting some Lord Constantine or something like that. I don't know for sure, but they claimed some strange Constantine. I don't know. I can get you the report. It was filed. I was too busy with this. And she points up to the large device, and you can see that the piece that you had returned is floating there.
Is it glowing purple?
It's not. The rest of them are. It's not. It's powered. Not at all. If we can fix this, if we can get one of these pieces back out to the Spire in Ward 6.
I think we need to try the device. I know I keep coming back to it, but I mean, reputation and safety and everything won't matter if the people in this city are no longer here. We can go to Ward 6 and we can try this device. And if it works, then we potentially can get one of these back out there and to Ward 8.
Amen, big one. We were talking about powering the city, not preventing storm.
I'm not saying we can prevent the storm at Ward 6.
Astra, make an animal handling check.
But if we are able to absorb some of the power, it might lessen the impacts of the storm. But regardless, we need to tell the folks and get the people out of there.
You're able to keep Hoku from storming out.
There's no point in keeping any of this secret anymore. What happened at Ward 3, what has happened in Ward 8, and now Ward 6, it's just getting worse by the day.
At this, Spark Eye approaches.
Oh, Father.
It's good to see you. I wish it was under better circumstances. Is that the device on your back?
Yes.
Nipnar. And Nipnar is still just staring up at this.
Oh, yes. He's a little preoccupied at the moment, but he's agreed to help us use this device.
If our theory is correct, if we're able to get in to that storm and plant this device, the entire plan with the device was to plant it somewhere and wait for the storm to come to it. Going into where the storm is forming could be dangerous. Very dangerous. And we don't know how much time we have. The rift could open, begin firing down lightning bolts any moment. Getting in there, setting it up, and getting out safely? That's too much of a risk. I don't want you to take that risk, son.
But if it works, wouldn't it be worth it?
At what cost?
Don't know, but it seems like losing more people from the city isn't the right answer.
What prevents you from sending one of the working pieces?
If we take another working piece out, the entire thing might collapse.
What if we put all the other ones in and then put it into the storm?
I don't know if she understands the process entirely, but it's a very good very good suggestion.
Yeah, the science adds up though.
Have any of you ever... You retrieved one of these?
Yes.
I helped, so I know a thing or two.
You touched one of them?
I did.
Me too.
Bloody thing gives headaches.
Gonna have to run some tests after, once things are better, but...
Father, you've sheltered me for a long time, and for that, I'm very grateful for everything you've given me. But it seems like we have a really good opportunity here to potentially save what's happening in this city. And for once, I don't need your permission. I feel like this is something that I have to do. And I trust your judgment, but it's time that I start believing in the things that I create. I trust
I
your
understand.
work.
I don't want you to risk your life, but this is something you have to do.
You've risked your life more times than I have for this city. It's the least I can do.
You can see like tears forming in his eyes, and he kind of like
My
turns
trunk
and
comes.
no, he turns and wipes away before you can do that. No. He just like looks up at you. And
I can do this. Or have to try.
he looks half step, looks at all of you. Well, if you're going to make it there before the storm, you best hurry.
Is it possible to quickly charge this? Nipner was saying that it could use a top up.
Oh, yeah.
Nipton, get the cylinder.
And if there's potential that it does work and we do come back, are you able to procure more of these for us?
More cylinders?
The stuff, yeah, the goo inside.
Yes, we'll see if we can obtain some vials and fill them up
What
for
the-
future.
What are these? What is this liquid?
It's a liquid that seems to be produced by these shards themselves. While they're powered, they seem to. It seems to seep out and ooze out of within them in some ways. We don't know what it does, but it seems it's the only thing that keeps them stable in many ways. What Spark Guy was mentioning. Let's just say the last person to touch one of these shards kind of started leaking brain matter through his eyes, and
Well, I'm not worried
Wasn't-
about that.
in any fit state to answer questions. So we might have some questions if we're able to resolve some of this.
Well, when we come back with a working device, I'll answer all the questions you want.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Another potentially really good, less dangerous idea for right now. Healthier. You know how you can send messages to people through your mind?
Sure.
The people from Freedom Hold that went poof. I
Okay.
wonder if you could try sending a message to one of them and see what happens. Maybe Jeff.
Do we know that Jeff is missing?
I don't know.
We don't really know who's missing, but perhaps
We
if
can
we talk
reach
to
out to him.
Cassandra, we can find
I
out.
think
But I really just want to send a message.
It's a great idea, big one.
I'm not asking any of you to follow me into Ward 6. It's extremely dangerous, and while I believe in this, I don't entirely know for certain that it is going to work. But I believe it is the first step to saving this city and finding your sister and the people of Ward 8.
Are you kidding me, lad? I don't need a reason to run into the storm. I already did it once.
That's a good point. I appreciate it.
Do we have anything that we can use to carry the device into the storm? I don't know, another construct or a mech?
We still need
perhaps?
Nipnor to be relatively close to it. I don't know how far the remote goes.
I think the remote at this Nibnor for the first time actually like clicks in and chimes in. You should be able to operate the remote from quite a ways away. That's a very powerful remote trigger mechanism that you install. A strong receiver on it.
Do we have anything that we can use to bring it in? Another construct or...
The professor?
Or one of the mechs the Iron Cog is using? Can those be...
Those mechs need to be piloted, so you'd still be in it. Not sure how much.
Might be
good
safer
that
than
might
being
provide.
out. Regardless, I will, if we don't find a solution, I'll be the one to carry it in. I don't expect anybody here to.
One of the other gnomes kind of approaches and like whispers something to Halfstep. And she's like, "Why don't you share it with the class, Lark?" Like,
I like this fiery half-step.
The other, like the small, like she's very young gnome actually, like probably like in what you would classify as like her teen years.
So 100.
Like long black hair tied into a ponytail, like very shy, very like got like mousy like round glasses, like looks up and kind of. I was talking to well, me and my friends, we had a theory about these storms. Nobody has been able to, as far as we know, enter and come back safe. But these buildings, these constructions, these works, they seem to be unaffected. So, what if there was, as you mentioned, a construct of some sorts that could potentially enter into the storm, walk through it? So it was nothing. I was talking about this idea with Mr. Klanko.
Oh.
See if he could make one of these constructs, mech of sorts, to survey deeper into these storms. I'm not very, social.
You're doing great.
Spit it out, lass.
But even I could tell that he was intrigued by the idea. I think he was hiding something.
Oh. Perhaps we go pay Mr. Klanko a visit.
I need to visit him anyways.
I think
How long ago was this?
a few weeks back.
Did he agree to build this construct?
I'm not sure, but it seemed to me like he'd done it before.
I'm willing to bet my bottom apple that he's already created something to survey these storms.
It's that T-bot.
Because you see, Mr. Klanko, he is a construct.
That's
He's
true.
a living being of metal.
He probably has something.
Now you said people entering the storm,
Going into the storm,
coming out.
nobody's comes out.
Well, maybe they just haven't come out yet. I'm sure that they will.
I know somebody who came out. Not in the city though.
That's
And
very
not-
much like to beat them.
They were not their original self.
By this point, like they've taken the canister and like have plugged it into essentially like there's
Tesla
almost
charger.
like a small reservoir near the base of the
Yeah.
larger cylinder. As you plug it in, there's like a small bubble that rises up through the gel, like continues on upwards. A few moments later, it's like disconnect. You can see that the vial inside is now full. But you were saying, well, they were doing that.
Well, you were saying that you think that the terrain is unaffected. I approached the storm once, and the terrain is very much affected. There were lying rocks and very heavy, I don't know, much more heavy than usual artifacts, but it seems to go back to normal after the storm is gone, so there is some effect. It's just not permanent.
That might change my theory. And she just goes back deep into thought.
What's your name again?
Larklight?
Larklight?
Genevieve Larklight.
I'm Timon. This is the Iron Will.
We know what
Well
Pleasure
met.
to meet you.
Well, I think we should not waste any more time. It seems like we have a window to potentially make this work, so we need to go speak with Klanko.
Just wanted to check. Who was it who mentioned that there was someone from Icefall that was captured? Or
Half step.
Half step.
half step? So just mention a half step. It's half step. Just for your knowledge, it's come to my attention that there may be another person from Icefall that we may need to worry about.
Hmm.
Someone by the name of Trisha
Trisha T.
Tisha.
Do we have Trisha? She's an arc.
Tisha
Tisha T.
Tisha Trasandero.
Yeah.
Archmage for the Order of Draconis.
Yes. Is that
Archmage Trasandero. What does? You know what? I don't care right now. Whatever she wants, she'll come visit, and then we'll discuss then. She flips back and forth often.
I see. Well, please keep this at least between us. That I brought this up.
Yeah, for sure.
What stays downstairs stays downstairs.
It does.
Make sure
It does.
Well, we should get going.
I'll
Thank
try to
you.
make another
Animal
handling check.
Nope. That's the one.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
It comes to a 6. I rolled a 2.
Hoku lets out almost like a loud shriek, and in your head, you see a telepathic vision of the shards in the cylinder clicking and fusing together, one by one. And he looks up at you and goes, "Ah!" and breaks free from your grasp. What do you do?
No.
You're the first one to notice because he's gone through. The rest of the group is kind of busy in some ways conversing.
I let him go. And I tried to not draw attention to it. I hope that these guys don't notice.
Throw smoke.
Yeah, not stealthy. And he immediately just makes a beeline towards the blue cylinder, or the purple cylinder. And all of you can see flying up towards where these shards are floating in
But
the
there's only,
device.
there's only 5 in there though, right?
There are only 5 in that.
We need there's 8 total.
Simon looks at it. Oh no.
I was imagining those mosquito traps.
Yeah.
Any of you doing anything?
I don't know what I could
You might want to stop him or before he gets shot.
Do you think they're gonna shoot him?
I got shot.
Oh my god.
He's a great
I
shot.
didn't even do anything.
Well, I don't like the sounds of that.
You can just snap him out of his
Hoku, come back.
Yeah.
As
I
Hoku
know, but I don't
flies
wanna make-
and
Keep your
approaches the cylinder,
He's not a bird.
he immediately like clasps onto it, and his wings like spread out behind him and glow this like iridescent purple like shimmer across the wings. The entire like middle cylinder of purple light pulses almost, and everybody in the room turns and looks at you and now notices
Yes,
a
something to
bag.
see here.
What's going on? What is that thing doing?
Thing.
We
He
need to
has a
stop
name.
Hoku now. We don't know what he's doing.
No, it's okay.
As the light almost like suffuses the purple liquid, the shards themselves begin to glow, including the one that was not glowing prior.
See, it's fixing it.
They all begin to glow and radiate this purple light,
That's not a good
and
thing.
one by one,
They click.
they click together, snapping into one larger device. It's still missing pieces. There's still chips and cracks are all around its surface. It looks close to an acorn.
Was that one piece separated from them, like elsewhere?
No, it was
Or
floating.
also-
It was floating in with him. It just wasn't glowing at the
That's
time.
it.
As they snap, each time they snap, there's almost like a wave of energy lifts through the room. The water from the waterfall almost like floats in midair, pulses
I don't like
forward.
this.
The water level itself like seems to be roiling, and waves are almost like echoing through it, slowly rippling out from the cylinder in the middle of the chamber.
No. Time was
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Astra,
Okay,
call
no,
him
he's
back.
He's helping. It's,
Astra,
it's
call
fine.
him back.
You guys, just give him a minute. He's helping. He's
I'm gonna
fixing
start
it.
having electricity come out to form my electric whip.
It's like-
Astra,
Pull
please.
my wand.
Please call him back. You don't know what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
Why the music picks up.
Got so quiet. It's over.
Oh shit.
That's way too loud.
I like it. It's suspenseful.
As this now glowing large cluster of metal, almost these seeds, they glow, and the amount of energy is, like, you see one of the other gnomes kind of rush over to a console. He shouts, the energy level is spiking. I don't know what's happening. Might be good, might be bad.
I'm gonna throw my electric whip at Hoku.
You throw your
Electric whip at Hoku.
Is it an attack roll or
I think so.
what is Hoku's armor class?
It is a strength 14.
So it's a strength check.
13.
What is the strength?
Oh, strength.
Blonde hair starts to appear.
Yeah.
6 for -2.
What do you roll?
Your lightning whip kind of cracks
Attacking,
around and
okay.
grabs him,
Yeah.
and it does pull him towards you.
I'm trying to just pull him down from it. Hoku, stop!
You pull him towards you. Hoku does take damage. How much damage is the lightning lure?
2d8.
Jesus. How much HP does the pseudo dragon familiar have? 2d8. You can roll the damage. Roll the damage.
I'm not intentionally trying to kill
The
him, but
electric lasso does.
it's only 4 damage.
So he's still standing. How
Yeah.
much HP does he have?
Astra, please call him back. I don't want to hurt him.
He's
He's
like
not doing
shrieking
anything.
and like coiling and flapping his wings, and like it's not a pretty situation.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna keep
But-
pulling him
Is
towards me.
anything when I
As he like almost separates from the cylinder, nothing changes.
it's
Oh,
Still
still like,
glowing,
God.
still pulsing.
did it
The
seem
shards
like,
are still snapped together.
okay?
They seem to have fused into
Oh,
one
God.
large device.
But he's still trying to. Hoku's still trying to fly back to
Or is he
Yes.
kind of like done now?
He's still looking at it.
Okay.
He
Hoku.
turns around and looks you straight in the eye. Would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
What is happening? Whiz.
Is this charmed or frightened perchance? Okay.
It is definitely not.
Well,
11.
You hear a shriek in your mind, and you feel a headache almost as you take 3 points of psychic damage.
Oh god.
As he looks at you intently. Since that is, well, that wasn't a concentration, right? So your
No,
lure just pulls, and
It
then
pulls no matter what if I hit.
so
So
it pulls, and he like ends up being pulled close to you,
yeah.
and he's just flapping and like angrily looking at you. But he's still like there, and behind you, like this lightning, or sorry, not the lightning, the purple light is just like glowing and pulsing in some ways. The entire room is just crackling with this sort of energy. You can see the waves underneath you whipping. You can see like almost like sparks flying from some of these devices that clearly are not designed to hold this much energy in some ways.
While I'm looking at him, I'll just say, Hoku, what have you done? And then I'll just look back. Everybody get out of here now!
Hoku, I think it's time for us to mosey, and I put out the backpack for him to come into the backpack.
Well, he's still in my lightning whip.
Your lightning whip
I'm
just
holding it.
pulls once.
Oh, does it?
right?
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't
pulls
say
once
there,
and
yeah.
doesn't hold.
Okay.
Yeah. Are there any guards? Any like hostility against Hoku? Like,
Not at the moment, no.
no.
The only people in this room, aside from you all, are
Half step,
Half-Step,
Larklight,
Spark Eye,
and a couple-
Larklight, and
couple
a
people.
couple of other gnomes. Yeah.
What are Half-Step and Spark Eye doing?
They're kind of in shock, but then Half-Step is the first one to react aside from the other engineer who was still at one of the consoles. She immediately looks around. I don't know what the fuck your pet did, but could be bad, could be good. Get out. Keltier, you notice that the water underneath you is whipping into a frenzy. Swirling around, almost like a cyclone of sorts.
Okay.
That's your shit list.
What are you doing?
It's always because of fucking Hoku.
What are you all doing?
Running out.
I'm staying to keep an eye on Hoku getting the fuck out, and then I want these guys to leave. So I'm just saying, get out now!
Hoku flies over to you, Astra, and like sits on your shoulder, like nuzzle.
I put him
Then I'll just-
into the backpack.
I'll
and
go to
bring
my
the-
father and help him start ushering him
Yep.
half step out.
Where's the cylinder?
The cylinder, you pick up the cylinder.
Yeah, I'll make sure that's all.
It was on the ground.
And,
You pick up the
and
cylinder.
the vial?
The vial is inside of it.
Inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
The cylinder was prepared and good to go.
Yeah.
I have my backpack on the front so I can hold on to him too.
Okay. You do that. Spark Eye, like, immediately comes with you and begins to rush out. Test kind of looks at Half Step. What do you need from me, man? And she's just like, you're no use here.
Diamond's booking.
How can I help?
Get them out of here. Get them upstairs. Get them out. She like lowers her goggles. I'm going in. And she and one of the other gnomes, not Larklight. Larklight comes and runs alongside you with Spark Eye as you're making your way out. But Half Step and one of the other gnomes who didn't introduce themselves, they were busy at the console. The one that shouted the power levels are spiking.
It's over now.
They get to work. You don't know what they're doing. You exit from the wall door, like, immediately. Like, Livitzar turns around, throws his orb back up in the air, and begins to, like, turn the lock and close the door.
Watch for
Get
the
to the elevator.
tripwire.
Get to the elevator. Squeeze in if you have to. Don't think we have time to make multiple trips. He, like, looks inside briefly, locks eyes. You can't really see this, but cinematically, he locks eyes with Half Step.
Oh, last
Oh God.
Locks the door, and you all rush to the elevator, squeeze in. Some of you climbing on top of others. All of the gnomes kind of clamber up on top of the big one, like Spark Eye, Nipnur, and Livitzar just like all over his head and shoulders.
Watch the tripwire. Watch the tripwire.
Yeah. Don't sit there.
Livitzar almost like rushes in, like crawls through, makes his way to the panel, like starts hammering the buttons. I hope she knows what the fuck she's doing. And the elevator doors close. That's a good spot to end today's session.
You're fucking pseudo dragon.
See what happens next time.
God dang it.
You guys thought I was trouble.
Oh man.
No.
Gosh darn it.
Fucking Clanko is shifty. I knew it.
Fucking might not matter now.
Hoku was shifty.
Yeah,
No.
Hoku is definitely the fucking
He's a good boy.
way that fucking
Man.
dude's getting brought into this world.
Oh
Good
man.
blood who may have just killed two.
Everybody.
I thought
may
you-
have just destroyed the
I
city.
thought you were going to cut Hoku in half.
I don't
with
want to
that
hurt
thing.
Hoku. That's not my intention. I just.
I mean, Hoku can always come back. If you cut
It can also be
It's-
snapped away
you know
immediately.
what? Yeah, but I wanted him to do what he had to do.
Did Hoku
You're
die
crazy.
once?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can come back.
He's about to die. We're sad.
But I don't want him to die. I don't like it when he's not there.
Hoku's just like, do it, I dare you. I'll be
He's like,
back.
I'm back, bitches.
Oh boy. Oh
Half-
boy. Oh
half
boy. Oh
step's so
boy.
badass.
She's probably dead.
Oh yes.
Ask them at that other person.
No.
The energy levels.
Yeah. Alright. Well, until next time.
That was certainly a way to get back
Yeah.
Yeah.
to playing.
Holy cannoli.
Well, thank you for joining us, and
Mhm.
see you next time in the outfield.
Bye.
Bye bye.